You're listening to Kick-Off on Talksport with Ladbrokes, 18+, gambleaware.org. We'll talk more about Nick Voltemada with Troy Deeney in a second, but a goal already at Hull in the Championship. Alan Biggs.
Yes, Hull City 1, Leicester City 0. Liam Miller is the score. He's making his first start for a year for Hull tonight. Really welcome back. He's been easing his way back in as substitute. A terrific goal after a break down the right-hand side, a low cross as Hull threatened, and Miller 15 yards out, arrowed it perfectly into the top corner. Hull City 1, Leicester City 0.
Elsewhere, EFL Trophy, Barnet 1, Cambridge 0. That was a 7:45 kick-off. League 2, Swindon got battered at the weekend. They're one down already at home to Notts County. Conor Grant with the goal, and a goal in the National League. York 0, Boreham Woods 1. Keeping you updated with the goals as they go in this evening, but focus is on the Champions League. Newcastle against Benfica coming up live on Talksport. This guy, Nick Voltemada, Troy Deeney, it's obvious that you like him. He's scored in each of his last 5 games for club and country. What is it specifically that you like about this guy?
I like the fact that Bayern Munich are so annoyed that he chose Newcastle. That's what I really like about it. I think he's one of those characters, a bit like Peter Crouch. I don't think people are going to give him the respect that he deserves as a footballer. Technically very, very gifted, but the goals he's scored at the moment, I think it just epitomises who he is. He's came in, got Isak as the hole, the void to fill, and he's just taken to it, said no problem, I'll show you why I'm so good. And he's got that little bit of devil about him where he's like, I'll show you how good I am. And I just think it's all set for him with the runners of Elanga, Murphy or even Gordon on the opposite side. It just allows him to link up play, and when they do get wider build, if you've got Kieran Trippier putting balls into the box, he's a big man, you're just licking your lips, and he is a big man, isn't he? So he's going to have some fun, but I think he's a very technical footballer that won't get the credit he deserves until, probably he moves on.
Well, it was a lovely glancing header for Germany for his first international goal. Lovely little back flick against Brighton. So you're right, technically very good. I also like the fact that he chose Newcastle over Bayern Munich. And I love the fact that he wasn't Newcastle's first choice. They went for Šeško, they went for Strand Larsen, and then they went for Nick Voltemada. He doesn't seem to mind being third choice. He's just going to stick his hand in the air and say, I'm going to get on the pitch, score goals, prove everybody wrong.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm pretty sure throughout his whole life he's probably been told he's too tall, he's too skinny, he's not quick enough. So he's probably just used to doubting people the whole way through. I'd love to have a chat with him. I think he's just comes across with so much grace that he just takes it in his stride. And as you say, the Bayern Munich ownership saying that Newcastle are silly to pay the money they paid for him. I'm pretty sure they put 60 million in for him as well, didn't they?
The atmosphere at Newcastle, always brilliant midweek nights, always brilliant Champions League nights. I'm pretty sure it's the same there this evening, Troy.
Yeah, it's just, as you can hear, the noise is ramping up now. They've got a nice motif to our right here. Joe Harvey took a holiday. He went to Budapest, obviously symbolising when Newcastle won their first trophy in 1969. So it's great. And as you can imagine, it's a Champions League night. It's a little bit special. Just up on our monitors now, you've got Jose stood in the tunnel, intimidating all the Newcastle players as they come past, giving them the death stare. But it just feels like a big night. It just feels like we're privileged to be here. And as I say to you all the time, mate, I'd do this for free. I'm lucky Talksport actually pay me.
It is a privilege to do this job. You're spot on. We do have another goal in the Championship. It's come up Millwall. Ollie Klink.
10 minutes gone, it's Millwall 1, Stoke 0. Femi Aziz has put Millwall in front. It was Tierno Ballo released down the left-hand side. He fizzed in across to the back post, and there was Aziz arriving late. Stoke might feel that Chamadou, the right-back, was fouled in the build-up, but Millwall won't care because they're in front. 10 minutes gone, Millwall 1, Stoke 0.
We are bringing you the goals as they go in, as well as Champions League commentary tonight on Talksport. Goals in the Championship already this evening. Hull lead Leicester 1-0. Millwall a goal up as well earlier in the Champions League. Barcelona 6-1 winners over Olympiacos, 2 for Marcus Rashford. The other game finished Kairat Almaty 0, Paphos 0. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Newcastle against Benfica tomorrow night. Frankfurt Liverpool is live on Talksport. Monaco Tottenham live on Talksport 2. The show comes from Stamford Bridge as Chelsea take on Ajax. But this show coming live 5 from Arsenal against Atletico Madrid, and the teams on their way out. Man City away to Villarreal. That's on Talksport 2. The Champions League is back this midweek on the Talksport network. Jose Mourinho is all about the Champions League. He's won it twice, so a big test for Eddie Howe. Live on Talksport, Newcastle against Benfica, with your commentary team at St James Park of former Premier League captain Troy Deeney alongside Jim Proudfoot.
Thank you, Adrian, and a very good evening to you for another intense, high-volume continental night on Tyneside. It's 13 seasons since the Geordies last reached the knockout stages in Europe, a campaign that was ended by Benfica, who denied them a place in the Europa League semi-finals. Alan Pardew has described that elimination as a real sliding doors moment, a crossroads in the club's history. And now as Benfica come back to St James Park, are they on the verge of another? There are mitigating circumstances, of course, but the team have taken only 9 points in their last 10 league games either side of the summer break. And after last season's 5th place berth, they're currently 14th, struggling to replicate last season's level of performance as well as results. But tonight they can concentrate on the Champions League, the immense reward for their epic season, and take another step towards their first post-Christmas European campaign since 2013. Having brushed away the Belgians of Union Saint-Gilloise, another 4 wins will give them an outstanding chance of finishing in the top 8. But that could depend on them fully capitalising on all 3 winnable home games. First of those tonight, Benfica have lost both of their European games so far, with their upcoming Champions League commitments eradicating almost all of their margin for error this evening. In another sliding doors moment, Jose Mourinho resisted the chance to come here and work for Bobby Robson. Generation on, he's hoping that the steady progress his new charges have made over his month or so in charge can reap reward. They could easily have got something at Chelsea. They held leaders Porto in their last league game, and all the facets that you'd expect of a Jose team are coming to the fore. Newcastle tonight make 3 changes. Pope's in goal, Trippier, Chow, Botman and Byrne, an unchanged back 4. Miley is in for Tonali at the base of the midfield. Guimaraes to his right, Ramsey to his left. He's replaced Joelinton. Jacob Murphy's preferred to Elanga on the right wing, Gordon on the left, and big Nick Voltemada up front, hoping to score in a 5th successive club game, something he's never previously managed in his career. Benfica in their traditional red shirts, white shorts, have Trubin in goal, Araujo, Manchester City old boy Otamendi, Antonio Silva and Dedic, Barrenechea, who's on loan from Villa in midfield, Auschnes and Rios, who scored the decisive own goal at Chelsea, one-time Watford winger Luka Bacchio, Sudakov on the other side, and Pavlidis, the last player to score an international goal against Jordan Pickford, is the man that leads the line. On the Newcastle bench tonight, Cher, Joelinton, Tonali, Barnes, Kraft and Asula, Elanga, Willock and Alex Murphy, with keepers Thompson and Ramsdale. Benfica players in a huddle, and that will just delay the kick-off a little. Newcastle, black and white striped shirts and black shorts. Referee tonight, Simon Marciniak, who took charge of the last World Cup final. Well, it's 22 years since Newcastle won back-to-back games in the Champions League, but is tonight the night? Beating Benfica is a significant step towards the knockout stages, but defeat would further drain the Toon's half-empty glass. Ball played forward from the kick-off. Newcastle win an early throw, which is taken by Dan Byrne, and that worked back for Botman. Well, all the information we were given was for a reshuffle in the Benfica back line tonight, but it hasn't turned out that way. They're playing with Dedic at right back and Araujo on the left rather than the other way round, which was the intelligence, and that's interesting. So, don't know whether he's had a late change of heart, Jose. Ball played out towards Auschnes on the Benfica left. Trippier backs off, and then a sliding challenge comes in from Murphy. He's played it straight into the referee, which is a good tactic because it's meant that it's a drop ball to Newcastle under no pressure. And Chow can get a touch of it on the edge of his own penalty area. Minute in, very intense atmosphere here, as it always is on a European night at St James Park. I'm delighted to say that Troy Deeney's alongside.
Hi, Jim. Really good start for Benfica, isn't it, as well? They're just getting the ball on the floor, moving it up, back and through, trying to get down that opposite side. I think they've just got to start to put that ball in the box. So Jose Mourinho just down to our left here, not too happy that they didn't put the ball in there. I expect Newcastle to have a lot of the ball today, be set and move it well, but they need to get this fan base up. So I just expect in the first 5 or so minutes that they turn them 3 or 4 times with Gordon and Murphy and allow for this Benfica team to be facing their own goalkeeper.
Well, they have possession again. Pavlidis, though, losing out to the retreating Ramsey, who's done well to win it back. Then work to Murphy. Murphy to Trippier to Miley, and then back for Kieran Trippier again. An outlet forward on the edge of the penalty area by Malik Chow. Newcastle at the moment can't get out of their own half. Barrenechea, who is the midfield enforcer and prodigious collector of yellow cards, it just stops the latest Newcastle attack in its infancy. Free kick taken quickly. Gordon had his ankles tapped, and Newcastle will get another free kick that Miley will take, and work back for Chow.
Yeah, interestingly from Benfica, though, they're dropping off very, very quickly when they lose the ball, not allowing any space in behind, and making sure that this Newcastle team do everything in front of them.
Murphy making a good run down the right-hand side of the penalty area, pulls it back. Barrenechea is there, takes a touch inside his own penalty area, and the Argentinian with the bleach blonde hair can bring it away. Then he himself got caught. Dan Burn picks up possession in the centre circle, goes all the way back for Nick Pope. Jose Mourinho is asking the referee to stop play because his midfielder is down hurt, and now, although he's had a real snap at Otamendi on the way past, the referee has stopped play, and it's going to be a drop ball to Newcastle.
Yeah, I don't know why he stayed down there. The referee's gone to get him up, but now he's gone back down, pointing at his ankle. Kieran Trippier wins the ball, and unfortunately his stud just grazes his ankle. There's absolutely nothing wrong with him. And fair play to the ref, he's trying to get the game going, but this is part of the tactics that we spoke about before the game. We feel that Jose will try and just take everything out of this Newcastle crowd and this fan base, and as you can hear already, the frustration's growing, and we're only 3 minutes in.
So there was an exchange as Barrenechea was told that he had to receive treatment. That got him back to his feet. That was the immediate panacea that he needed. An analgesic that worked a miracle. Should have it on the NHS. Sorry, you need 30 seconds off the field. Oh, okay, I'm all right. And that then saw a little bit of a heated exchange between Jason Tindall and one of Jose Mourinho's backroom staff in front of us. Players continue with Newcastle in possession over on the right-hand side. The one game in League 2 tonight. Swindon 1, Notts County 1, an equaliser there at the county ground. Ball out of play for a throw that Newcastle will take over on the far side. 4.5 minutes in. Earlier, another big win for Barcelona. They stuck 6 past Olympiacos with a Fermin Torres hat-trick and Fermin Lopez hat-trick, I beg your pardon, and Marcus Rashford got a couple to take his Barcelona tally for the season up to 5. He's the joint leading scorer. Kairat drew 0-0 with Paphos. 0-0 everywhere in the 8 o'clock kickoffs in the Champions League. Rios in possession, finding Luca Bacchio. Back from him to Dedic, who just drew Gordon towards him and beautifully skipped past him. Now down towards Dodi Lukebakio again, who's one of 2 former Watford players in this Benfica squad tonight. The other, Araujo, is on the bench. And the ball is worked through the Benfica back line, out to the far touchline for the other Araujo, Tomas Araujo, the Portuguese international. And down towards the very impressively talented Antonio Silva. His ball in towards Rios, spun round the corner far too quickly, no accuracy, and it's gone out of play for a throw that Gordon takes quickly for Newcastle. 0-0 at a high tempo, opening 5 minutes behind us.
Yeah, weirdly though, both teams just playing everything in front of the other. No one running off the ball in behind and trying to stretch the other team. It's all a little bit too contrived at this moment in time. We need someone to be a little bit selfless and run without the ball and hopefully open up the opposition.
Kieran Trippier back towards Miley. This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. 5 minutes in, 0-0. Anthony Gordon with the ball at his feet. It's a great turn. Got the better of Dedic, who's pulled him down, and that may well be the first yellow card of the night. It looks as though he actually is going to escape it. the Bosnian international fullback, although the referee is now striding after him. He knew exactly what he was doing there. He'd been beaten and literally took matters into his own hands by hauling Gordon to the ground.
Yeah, very lucky there. I think that should be a yellow card. Anthony Gordon chopped him on his left-hand side, comes back onto his right foot, fakes as if he's going to cross it, chops him again, and he's in. He's running into the penalty area. It's a good foul, but I do think that should have been a yellow card.
We'll get news of a goal at Millwall after this Newcastle free kick, which Kieran Trippier is going to take. 6 gone 0-0 here on Talksport. 2 in the wall protecting the near post. Trippier's rolled it back. Gordon on the edge of the area, right-footed. It would have been close. Diving headed clearance from Otamendi got it away. Back out towards Trippier, 20 yards outside the penalty area. Hanging a high ball up, goalkeeper comes out, spills it, but he got enough on it. It's cleared by Auschnes and will go out towards the far touchline for Newcastle to build again. Let's get news of that second Millwall goal from Ollie Klink.
22 minutes gone, it's Millwall 2, Stoke 0, as Millwall go close for a third, but it was Tristan Crammer with the second for Millwall. Tierno Bello pulling the ball back from the left-hand side, and there was the centre-back to lace one into the roof of the net. Millwall in control, Millwall 2, Stoke 0.
Lions looking for a third straight win tonight against the Stoke side, who started the evening in third, unbeaten in their last 4 games, but already trailing 2-0. And Millwall well on top there. Voldemada turning in possession. Beautiful ball forward as well for Murphy. Here's Ramsey, and it was just nicked off his toes by Antonio Silva. Out for a corner. But a great break. Voldemada turning and spinning a beautiful ball down the inside right channel. First time ball through the penalty area. And just as Ramsey was pulling the right foot back, seemed certain to score, Antonio Silva came in.
Yeah, great work from Voldemada. Drops into that 10 position, takes it on the half turn, puts in Murphy, and Murphy does what all good wingers do, just puts it into the area straight away. And as you say, great defending there by Silva. Otherwise, I think Jacob Murphy, sorry, that's wrong for me. Ramsey gets it in and would be 1-0 up.
Trippier taking this corner very deep, coming around the back, it's headed down and cleared. It was Burns' header and somehow thrashed away. Now Benfica looking to break, and it's a good run from Sudakov down the left, and great tracking from Malik Chow. Has covered a lot of ground, having gone forward to attack that last set piece, to come back and mop up on the edge of his own penalty area. 0-0.
Really, really good from Newcastle, is it? That's that first bit of play there, Jim, where they've linked short with Voldemada and had runners without the ball in behind, and instantly they're in. I just think this Benfica team is technically very, very good, but can they live with the physicality of what Newcastle have got, both off the ball and then, as we've seen, from set pieces?
Our first Champions League goal of the 8 o'clock kickoffs in Germany. PSG leading at Leverkusen by a goal to 0. William Pacho has scored that goal. Newcastle have got to go to both Leverkusen and PSG. Match day 6 and 8 respectively within this Champions League campaign. Just shows that these home games are going to be important. This one tonight, then Athletic of Bilbao and PSV Eindhoven, the other clubs that have got to come here in the group stage. Newcastle got another free kick, one by Ramsey and taken by Miley. Chow playing it out of the Newcastle right. Kieran Trippier holding the width. Newcastle will bring it back infield with Murphy. Tricks his way through. Tries a left-footed effort. And it's comfortably saved by the diving goalkeeper Trubin. Ukrainian throwing himself to his right-hand side, but it was a comfortable stop. Let's find out what's been going on in the early stage of the other Champions League ties. First to the Emirates, Arsenal Atletico. Here's Alex Crook.
10 minutes gone here. It's still Arsenal 0, Atleti 0, but the Gunners so close to taking the lead. Eberechi Eze with the shot deflected on the edge of the penalty area, looped over the keeper onto the top of the crossbar. Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0.
And Man City in action in Spain tonight. Watching on Talksport's Mickey Gray.
Yeah, 10 minutes gone here. Villarreal 0, Manchester City 0, but Man City should be 2 up in the first 5 minutes. Jeremy Doku missing from very close range after being played in on the right hand side by Savinho, and Erling Haaland, great cross from Silva down the left hand side, free header, and missed the target in the form that Erling Haaland's in. Villarreal 0, Man City 0.
And that game live for you right now over on Talksport 2. A choice of listening again tonight on the Talksport network. Auschnes, shaven headed player on the left hand side of midfield for Benfica, tries to flick it forward. It was initially cleared, and then Botman, who was Probably Newcastle's best player in that defeat to Brighton at the weekend has just won a free kick on the edge of his own box. He's had to wait a little bit of time to get back into the team, Sven Botman, after those horrendous injury problems that he had. And then waiting patiently, Cher got his concussion, and Botman's taken his chance.
Yeah, I'd argue he's their best centre-back when fit and available. It's just whether he can be fit and available. And obviously when he's on the bench, it's a real tough one for the coach, obviously, Eddie Howe, to look at him and go, right, do I bring him on and try and get him up to speed in games where he might break down? But again, starting and that injury for Shah, unfortunately, makes it easier for him to get back in the team. But Newcastle will need him to be fit and available. He's really good on the ball, hit that big switch, but also is a great defender as well.
Here's Miley. Rare start for him tonight, his third of the season. Guimaraes laying it forward towards the edge of the penalty area. He couldn't squeeze it through. Barron a chair. Then Dedic will head it away. Helped on down towards the right-hand touchline for Pavlidis. Burn leaning into him. Just gave Pavlidis a little shove. There's actually then a slightly incongruous high five between Dan Burn and Jose Mourinho as he walked past him.
It's not the Mourinho we love, is it? Prefer to poke him in the eye.
Yeah, he must be up to something, Jose. Must be. Trying to lull Dan Burn into a false sense of security. Burn, who's not far away now from the 500th game of his club career. It's a senior game, doesn't include the non-league games that he had for Darlington right at the start. Good milestone that coming up for him. Here's Burn again, down to Anthony Gordon, coming in off the Newcastle left. He's got the beating of Dedic for pace, and he knows it. At that time, Dedic was able just to get toes on the Gordon cross. Took the sting out of it, and the ball goes through towards Trubin. It's been a really entertaining opening 13 minutes to this game, but it's still 0-0.
Yeah, and that's really good for Anthony Gordon. Drops deep to get the ball. As soon as he gets it, though, goes straight at Dedic, goes on the outside of him. Knows he's got the beating for pace, as you just said, but maybe now just needs to take a little touch on the inside of him, as opposed to just trying to throw it into the box aimlessly. And I think this is a really intriguing battle, because Benfica have done okay, not really offered much going forward, a little bit sloppy with their possession, but with the formation that they've got and their tactical setup, they're going to be in this game, aren't they? It's on Newcastle to go and score past them to open this game up.
You're listening to Newcastle against Benfica in the Champions League. It's live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Gordon in possession. Back from him to Ramsey. Now to Miley. Newcastle coming into this for won only 3 of the last 13 games in all competitions. I mentioned earlier, there are mitigating circumstances, and there've probably been a few of the games within that run that if they played them 10 times, they would have got a better result on 7 or 8 occasions. So they would say that they haven't had the rub of the green, but it is what it is. And 9 points in the last 10 games either side of the summer break is not the kind of form that they used to these days here at St James Park. It's something that needs to improve. Poor home form in Europe as well, with 3 consecutive defeats here on home soil. Here's Luca Bacchio, and he's done Dan Burn, and Pope has got something on it. Trippier's going to be able to complete the clearance. Luca Bacchio just skipping away from Dan Burn inside the penalty area, fired it low and hard towards the near post, thinking it hit the goalkeeper's thigh, bounced down, looped up towards the far post, and Trippier can get it away. The subsequent cross that comes in sails over Pope's head and goes high and wide, and out of play for a goal kick.
Yeah, really good play. The first time they've hit a diagonanga, and it's just shown Luca Bacchio's great pace and power, as we alluded to at the top of the show. Unfortunately for Dan Burn, gets caught underneath the ball, and it looks like it's gone under Nick Pope. Just watching the replay here, under him, but it's his backhand as he turns. Yeah, it does. He hits the underside of his arm, and it's in.
Now they're pushing forward again, and this time Botman is in with an important challenge, and it goes out of play for a corner. There's been a goal at Fratton Park. Here's Ian Abrahams.
Portsmouth 0, the leaders Coventry 1. Ball in from the left-hand side, headed across goal by Ellis Sims and poked home by Brandon Thomas Asante. Portsmouth 0, Coventry 1.
7th of the season for Thomas Asante. Cov can go 4 points clear at the top of the championship tonight if they make it 5 straight wins and they lead by a goal to 0. This is Benfica's first corner of the night. It's 0-0 here. Still PSG leading it by Leverkusen 1-0. Goalless everywhere else. Corner to be taken on the Benfica left. Very congested 6-yard box. Pope travels through traffic to be able to punch it away. Gordon then misses his kick on the edge of the penalty area. That's worked well for him, because for a moment it looks as though he's going to be able to lead the counter-attack. Barrenechea can't get it away. Bruno's in there to win it. Gordon fouled maybe as the ball was played out to the right, but play continues anyway with Murphy having possession. Now Bruno Guimaraes has got it again, worked in towards the edge of the box. His first attempt to play a pass is unsuccessful. Finds Trippier with the second, but as he pokes it forward, Benfica can easily get it away. Another championship goal at the MKM for Alan Biggs.
It's Hull City 2, Leicester City 0. Joe Gelhardt with Hull second. Also their 20th goal of a prolific season so far. Real surprise package they are. Ryan Giles low cross. Gelhardt converted at the far post. Hull 2, Leicester 0.
Well, those 20 goals have been spread between 9 different players already this season as well for Hull, who 2 up tonight. Then a poor challenge coming in the midfield, and Benfica are furious, and they are furious with really good reason, because Chow has committed the offence and has been booked, but the referee has stopped play, and had he let it go, Benfica on the counter-attack would have been 3 against 2 running from inside their own half, and would have had a glorious opportunity, but the referee stopped it.
Yeah, the referee's done Newcastle a massive favour there. As he gets lent in, he just plays it first time round the corner. And as you say, it's 3v2 in their favour, just coming over the halfway line. You'd have expected him to go and at least get a shot off, and Jose Mourinho and his coaching staff all just let every single person in here know that was a mistake, but it was a poor tackle from Tau, as you mentioned.
Malik Chow booked for the challenge on Pavlidis, who is receiving treatment. We can get news of a goal in Spain. Mickey Gray.
And it's gone to Manchester City, Villarreal. Manchester City 1, and take a guess. Erling Haaland with the goal. Good play down the right hand side from Rico Lewis. He pulled it back towards the 6-yard area, and Erling Haaland with his right foot has slotted the ball into the back of the net. One-way traffic here. Villarreal 0, Manchester City 1.
That's his 15th goal of the season just for City. It's probably about his 47th goal of the season if you add in his Norway goals, but it's his 15th for Man City, his 8th in his last 5 games, and it's October the 22nd. Ball played forward towards the edge of the penalty area. Newcastle defending to do here. Pavlidis darting through and hitting the side netting. It was a half decent chance. It's certainly not showing any effects of the challenge from Malik Chow, which put him on the deck. And he took a touch that got past the centre half. Pope did have it covered. Actually, might just have got fingers to it on its way past. It's out of play for what's been given as a goal kick.
Really good play, isn't it, for Benfica? They come out to this right-hand side and just hit a diag and play for second balls. And Pavlidis picks it up, goes around Kieran Trippier. A little bit too easy for me. Gets it on the angle, has a shot 8 yards out to the left of the goalkeeper. Never really going to score from there. But Newcastle a little bit shell-shocked. Benfica have been really, really good this first 20 minutes. I'd expect Newcastle and Eddie Howe to be trying to turn it around a little bit. It's a little bit pedestrian, isn't it, considering it's a Champions League night here at St James's.
Oh, Pope put under pressure, and eventually he just put it out of play for a corner, because they played the ball back to him, and that clearly is the signal for the press. Pavlidis and Auschnes chased after him from different sides. He saw them converging and played it safe, made sure that he didn't kick it into one of them, but the only way he could do that was to scoop it behind the byline and out for another corner.
Yeah, really, really strange. But again, Newcastle just playing at half pace here. Again, as that gets set back to Botman, just turn it in behind. Make Andy Gordon go chase the ball and put Nick Pope under a load of pressure there.
So a second Benfica corner. And it's going to be taken by Luca Bacchio on the right flank. Swung in deep. Good handling again from Pope to palm it away. Back out towards Luca Bacchio again. An opportunity for him to take on Murphy. It's played back, whacked in by Sudakov and blocked by Gordon. And Newcastle will be able to push out from the back and get the defensive line high. Auschnes trying to turn one back in past that defensive line. Murphy heads the cross away. Out for Luca Bacchio. Oh, he's hit the post. Edge of the penalty area. And he fired in a left-footed effort. We were right behind and got the perfect view. And you could tell it was going to be very, very close. Pope was beaten. It curled in agonisingly and struck the frame of the goal and goes behind for a goal kick.
I spoke about Luca Bacchio at the top of the show. Has all the ability in the world, but he doesn't like the physical game. And at this moment in time, everything is coming through him for Benfica. As you say, headed back from Otamendi to him, 20 yards out on the right-hand side, takes a touch with his left foot, and you're thinking maybe cross it, but he just steps into it, very deliberate, and tries to bend it into that far corner. Nick Pope is beaten all ends up and just hits the framework, thankfully for Newcastle. Newcastle need to liven up.
Troy, I'm sorry, that's a real let-off. Ball towards the edge of the box to the other end. Murphy! And that has flashed some way wide, actually. Voltemada, sensing his role as a cult hero and also the flatness of the crowd, is just trying to whip those up on the Leeds' end. They need a little bit more volume and belief here, Newcastle.
Yeah, it was a great little play for Voltemada to get it down, but as you say, set to Murphy, takes a touch right side out. He's got Kieran Trippier on the outside, which creates the overlap. And as you say, a good 4 or 5 yards wide, but it just gave this fan base something, because I feel like Benfica have managed this game exceptionally well, whether that be staying down, whether that be keeping the ball, and also going long when they need to. Newcastle need to do something here, get a foothold onto the game, but also try and turn them as well. It's been the perfect game for Benfica. Everything's been in front of them, so Benfica will feel the happier of the two so far.
And that's Troy Deeney with us here on Talksport as Dan Burn's sliding challenge concedes a throw. Birmingham have only taken 1 point for the last 4 away games, but they lead at Preston with a goal from Phil Neumann. And elsewhere in the Champions League, Copenhagen 0, Dortmund 1. Felix Nemecha has scored that goal. Those two teams with only a point each from the opening 2 games, but Dortmund leading at the Parken tonight. This one is 0-0, just on Tyneside. Look at Bacchio, the former Watford man, the literally one-time Watford player, hitting the post with a rasping drive from the edge of the penalty area. Here's Barrenechea in the midfield. As I mentioned earlier, he's on loan from Villa. He's never played for them yet. Ball comes down to the right-hand side for Dedic, the Bosnian international defender. Back from him for Luka Bacchio. Luka Bacchio to Nicolas Otamendi. Otamendi with so much experience at Manchester City. He's played 95 Champions League games now. And he's got a good eye for a pass. He just pings one down towards the right-hand side for Luka Bacchio, who's won another corner there off the retreating Dan Burn. 0-0. Benfica the better team, though, in the last 10 minutes.
Yeah, 100%. I think they've just managed the experience, the crowd. We heard from Jose Mourinho at the start of the show talking about how great it is here. I think he's got it tactically perfect. This place is flat. You wouldn't normally say that about St James's Park.
So Luka Bacchio to take another corner. Away to our right-hand side, in front of the Gallagher end. Raises both arms above his head. Runs up, hits it left-footed. A little bit too low and flat, in towards the near post. Murphy got his head to it. And then it's one of those comedy cartoon moments that he's looking around because he doesn't know where the ball has gone. Everyone else can see it, except for him. It ended up sailing over the touchline and out for a throw, which will be taken by Dedic on the Benfica right. A lot of the play concentrated away to our right-hand side at the moment. Benfica in this first half kicking down the pretty appreciable hill here on the northern side of Newcastle upon Tyne. Dedic caught by Ramsey's challenge. Angry reaction on the Newcastle bench. They didn't think there was anything in it. Angry reaction on the Benfica bench. They thought there was a lot in it. But it is a free kick. Dedic is okay. He's back on his feet. It's one of those days where the fourth official, Pavel Raczkowski, really has his work cut out. I hope he's got earplugs in. Here's Otamendi at the back. Long straight ball forward that has missed Rios' run and goes through for Nick Pope. Newcastle need to improve, Troy. How do they go about it?
I think running without the ball. I think at the moment they're obviously trying to play out from the back and showcase what they've got. But they need to get the ball into Voltemada, who obviously just comes off the 2 centre-halves and tries to go in that 10 position. But then you need people like Gordon to run off the ball without the ball and run in behind him.
He's trying to do that now as Voltemada plays it back to him. Miley gets it out towards the right-hand side for Trippier.
Yeah, but again, every time they go wide, it's just becoming a little bit too predictable.
Ball clipped in here, far too straight. Gordon made the run, but out came Trubin and got his hands behind it. A couple of games in the Scottish Championship tonight, including one at Airdrieonians, who haven't won in 11, and they're a goal down at home to Dunfermline. And Andy Todd, the leading scorer for the Pars, 8th of the season there. Difference between the two teams. We'll be back round the grounds in the Champions League very shortly. Kieran Trippier's in possession and lays it back for Miley. Miley out to Trippier again, a yard in from the right-hand touchlines. Newcastle are 20 yards inside Benfica territory. Ball play back towards Malik Chow. Dan Burns got it now. And then Botman nudges it forward through the midfield for Ramsey, who helped Villa get to the quarterfinals of this competition last year. Ball in towards Voltemada's feet. Couldn't control it. And Antonio Silva's there to knock it away. It's a good physical battle between those two. Voltemada, unsurprisingly, has the height advantage, but Antonio Silva, one of the best young defenders in Portuguese football. Ball played in towards Bruno Guimaraes. Nice little ball around the corner for Murphy, who maybe just saw Arsenal's coming, and that put him off his stride just for a moment. He couldn't get a cross in. Newcastle do end up getting a corner out of it, though, which Trippier will go across to take. 0-0.
A little bit surprised there, wasn't he, Murphy? That's great play for Bruno Guimaraes. Gets in the little pocket, puts a lovely ball in. And I'm just waiting for Murphy to run on and just try and lace it across into the far post, but kind of stops, got a little bit scared there, as if he was the one defending as opposed to attacking.
27 gone, 0-0. Newcastle's second corner. This one from the right flank. Byrne coming to attack it, has knotted it down. And Guimaraes then chested it down and tried to turn it towards goal, but it was hacked away from him. Better from Newcastle. And Byrne will go and retrieve the ball from in front of the hoardings. And in fact, he hasn't. He's gone and retrieved a towel from in front of the hoardings. Gordon got the ball. Threw it to Byrne, who caught it in the towel. Now, having dried it, will try and launch a long throw inside the penalty area. Newcastle have got 3 on the edge of the 6-yard box, waiting to attack this. Botman coming in towards the near post, looking with the flick on. He's got it. Steers it outside the penalty area, though. The Chow ran round it, lays it back for Trippier, down towards Byrne, back again for Gordon, out towards Ramsey, brings it under control inside the centre circle, long diagonal from him. Byrne attacking the far post, header in towards the edge of the 6-yard box. Antonio Silva back towards his own goal, and the keeper had to tip it over his own bar for a corner.
Much better from Newcastle, using the physicality of Dan Byrne. First from the corner, very similar to the one in the Carabao Cup, if you remember, against Liverpool, where they just stand to the back post and allow the big man to go and attack it. And then in that second phase of build-up there, lovely ball from Ramsey, just allows Dan Byrne to go and attack it. This is an area that they have to keep going at Newcastle, because they're just so much bigger than this Benfica team.
Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0 in the Championship. Yuki Ahashi's second of the season. Newcastle's third corner. It's an in-swinger from Trippier. Very deep again, too deep for everybody. And he goes straight out of play for a goal kick. We'll go back to the Emirates. Arsenal Atletico Madrid. And here's Talksport's Alex Crook.
It's still Arsenal 0, Atletico 0. Arsenal dominating the game, but nearly behind. I'm not sure what David Raya was doing. Down by the corner flag, caught in possession, slides in, knocks the ball out the Arsenal goalkeeper for a throw. That throw in taken quickly. It came for Julian Alvarez, and he bobbled his shot wide of an empty goal. Almost a very embarrassing moment. It's still Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0.
Arsenal hoping to make it 9 points from 9 with victory there tonight. Botman square to his right-hand side for Chow. Manchester City still leading away to Villarreal. We'll be back with Mickey Gray in a moment. But Newcastle in possession on halfway here on Talksport. Choice of listening tonight. It's Newcastle 0, Benfica 0 here on Talksport. And over on Talksport 2 it is that Villarreal Manchester City game, which Erling Haaland has scored in. Voldemada making a run down the right-hand side of the box, and it should go out of play comfortably enough. We've got a choice of listening for you tomorrow. Tottenham go to Monaco. That's our Talksport 2 game kicking off at 8. And here on Talksport, Troy's alongside Joe Shannon for Eintracht Frankfurt against Liverpool. Let's find out what's going on in that Talksport 2 commentary game. Villarreal, Man City. Mickey?
Yeah, it's 30 minutes on the clock. Still Villarreal 0, Manchester City 1. Villarreal have just got themselves in the game. Papagay picked the ball up on the right-hand side. Wonderful shot, just scraped by Manchester City's post. They had Donnarumma scraping across to his right-hand side, but it has been all City. They have dominated this first 30 minutes of this football match. Villarreal 0, Manchester City 1.
And don't forget, the boys back with the sports bar tonight. Your chance to react to all of the European games and the EFL action as well, with Jamie and Jason taking your calls. 08717 223344. And sports bar open for business at 10:15 tonight. So Antonio Silva has the ball 10 yards outside his own penalty area. We talked about the fact that the glass is half full here at St James Park. Newcastle were to fail to win this game Tsunami fans. And does that mean that the glass is less than half empty? Otamendi bringing the ball forward as Napoli take the lead in Eindhoven, away to PSV elsewhere in the Champions League. In that Scottish Championship game, Andy Todd scored 2 in 3 minutes. They lead by 2-0 away to Adrionians. It's Scott McTominay that has got that goal for Napoli. What a time he is having on the Neapolitan coast. And just a wonderful move for him, doing so well. And Scott McTominay's second of the season for Napoli, who are looking to make it 7 wins in 10 tonight and going the right way about it at the moment. This one's 0-0. Antonio Silva in possession. Back from him to Otamendi. Takes a touch inside the centre circle. Works it forward for Luca Bacchio, who's come closer than anyone to scoring. Otamendi has it now. Under pressure from Voltemada. Deeper to Araujo. Auschnes will turn it forward towards the edge of the centre circle. Chow. Good ball from Bruno Guimaraes. Murphy right across the face of the 6-yard box. And Anthony Gordon couldn't miss. Well, they haven't been at their most convincing best, but they lead by 1-0, and it's Anthony Gordon yet again. Scored in all 3 Champions League ties in this run. Side footing in from 4 yards out. It's Newcastle 1, Benfica 0. On a night where they've ridden their luck, they have the advantage.
Anthony Gordon. Really good play from Anthony Gordon there. Turned it around for Benfica. Really poor on the ball. But for the first time, Newcastle won the ball back, played forward very quickly. Bruno Guimaraes puts Murphy in, and as soon as he gets there, Murphy, he has one touch. Voltemada coming from deep, makes the 2 centre-backs run up to the midfield. He just puts it right across the middle, and Gordon can't miss. Every winger should be doing that, coming in at the back post. It's a great goal. Nothing that Newcastle really don't deserve, but you feel that they should kick on a little bit more now. That goal hopefully settles the nerves.
Anthony Gordon's 4th Champions League goal of the campaign. Netted against Barca, 2 out in Belgium, and 1 here on Tyneside tonight. He scored in Latvia this time last week, and now has scored this evening on Tyneside. 1-0 to Newcastle. And Anthony Gordon's goal 13 minutes before half-time. Byrne, Chow under immediate pressure from Auschnes, had to lay it to Botman, who turned neatly away from Pavlidis, finds Gordon. He takes a touch that shows his confidence, and then works it through the midfield towards Ramsey. Ramsey's on halfway, finding Miley. Miley under pressure from the Colombian Rios, lost possession, but Botman has quickly won it back for him. And Shaw should be able to build at the back for Newcastle, getting it forward towards Trippier. Helped on down the line. Murphy chasing after that. Has failed to control it. Flicked it from his right foot into his inner left thigh. And out of play for a Benfica throw. Half-time whistles beginning to blow in the Championship. First half over at Fratton Park. Leaders Coventry ahead there. Ian Abrahams.
Portsmouth 0, Coventry 1 goal after half an hour. Matt Grimes' corner headed from the far post by Bobby Thomas across goal. Headed goalwards then by Ellis Sims and touched in by Brandon Thomas Asante. Both sides could have scored more. Portsmouth should have had a penalty for a handball against De Silva. It's Pompey 0, Coventry 1.
Elsewhere in the Championship, quick exchange of goals at Ashton Gate. Bristol City 1, Southampton 1. Adam Armstrong put in the Saints ahead. Anis Mehmeti equalising 3 minutes later. Half-time as well at Hull. Alan Biggs.
Hull 2, Leicester 0. Hull will go above Leicester if this holds. Liam Miller and Joe Gelhardt with the goals. Gelhardt also laid on Miller's. Jordan Ayew wasted Leicester's best chance, while Fatawo forced a good save from Panda. Hull 2, Leicester 0.
Pavlidis trying to get the ball forward here for Benfica, but couldn't thread it through towards Sudakov. An equaliser for Copenhagen at home to Borussia Dortmund, with Nico Schlotterbeck own goal there. 1-1. Lewis Miley trying to bring the ball out from the back for Newcastle. Now the 19-year-old's really filled out over the last year or so. Voldemada's done well. He's dropped deep, lays it down towards Gordon. Gordon running towards the edge of the area, shown onto his right foot, which was a risky tactic, but Dedic timed his challenge well, and then Lukebakio trying to bring it away. There was the merest hint of contact between him and Byrne. Lukebakio's gone down, And Byrne walks away and discusses the free kick given Benfica's way. It's 1-0 Newcastle.
Much quicker, isn't it, from Newcastle though, in possession, moving the ball with a bit more tempo now, getting at this Benfica backline a little bit more. Just want Anthony Gordon to keep going down the side of Dedic, down this left-hand side. He's got him for pace. Just keep doing it. I know he wants to come in on his right foot and get his shots off, but there's more there for him if he just keeps going down that outside.
You're listening to Newcastle against Benfica in the Champions League. It's live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it, book now at enterprise.co.uk. Don't forget Alan Brazil, Gabiak Bonlahor back tomorrow morning on Talksport Breakfast from 6. And if you fancy something different on your morning commute, you can be sure to check out the Chris Evans Breakfast Show. That's weekdays from 6:30 on Virgin Radio, which you can hear on DAB. And Talksport Breakfast from 6 every day, Monday to Friday. Plenty to react to and to look forward to tomorrow night with the boys as well. With that Liverpool game in Germany. They've had major travel problems getting there. Out to Frankfurt, problems with the plane. Liverpool, which has meant that they haven't been able to do their press conference tonight. But they are in action tomorrow night and we'll bring it to you live on TalkSport. Newcastle bringing the ball forward here with Murphy. Benfica player has gone down off the ball in the penalty area. It was Rios, and the referee, told by one of the other officials about that, has pulled play back and given them a free kick. Ball's been in the net in that game at Arsenal, Alex Crook, but it doesn't count.
No, it doesn't. It's still Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0. Zubamendi it was with the ball out to Bukayo Saka down the right-hand side. He drilled the cross along the 6-yard line, turned in by Gabriel Martinelli, but he was just offside. Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0.
Crookie, thank you. There's, like this one, about 7 minutes to go to half-time in that game. And live for you over on TalkSport 2 right now. Man City leading at Villarreal by a goal to 0. And we'll get another update from Mickey Gray in a moment. First of all, though, half-time at the Den. Ollie Klink.
Millwall 2, Stoke 0 at the break. A back post header from Femi Aziz and a thumping finish from Tristan Kramer have Millwall in full control. Stoke struggling so far, and Millwall at the moment heading third. Half-time at the Den. Millwall 2, Stoke 0.
Yep, they'll go above Stoke if it stays that way. And Newcastle, Troy Deeney have been much better since they scored the goals, really settled the nerves.
Yeah, absolutely. And Anthony Gordon becoming more of a ever-growing presence in this game, linking up really well with Voltemada. But I do just feel another goal would really settle the nerves. It still feels a little bit cagey. Benfica will feel that they're still in this game. Maybe the changes could help.
Now Guimaraes can bring it forward for Newcastle. Out to Murphy. Murphy clipping it in. Guimaraes! And then Gordon sliding in at the far post, couldn't reach. Wouldn't have counted though, the flag was up.
Again, just really good play. But again, everything's coming through Voltemada. He links into this 10 position so well. And he just drops the ball off to Bruno Guimaraes, who drives at the heart of this back line. And a lovely little ball from Jacob Murphy. I think it takes a little nick. Just see if it's a handball. No, just off the side of Otamendi. As you said, Jim, would have been offside. But a really, really good play from Newcastle. When they go forward with pace and power, they're really hard to stop, and at this moment in time, it's a little bit too predictable.
That's some game at Leverkusen, by Leverkusen against the holders PSG. I told you that PSG led through William Pacho's early goal. Alex Grimaldo then missed a penalty for Leverkusen, who had Robert Andrich sent off not long after that. Ilya Zabani sent off 5 minutes later for PSG. Former Bournemouth man shown a straight red. And then Garcia, from the penalty spot, has tied it up for Leverkusen. So it's 1-1. They're 10 men each. And 1 apiece at the Bay Arena. Here's Anthony Gordon. 5 to go to half-time. Newcastle leading, courtesy of his goal. Trippier had time to stand and applaud Gordon's contribution there as he worked it through the midfield, straight to Trippier, who can play it to Bruno Guimaraes. First time ball intended for Murphy, didn't find its target. Auschnes then has to dig it away at the second attempt. Ball goes out towards Trippier. Trippier to Miley and back for Kieran Trippier again. Just nudged down that right-hand touchline. Newcastle will bring it back in field with Guimaraes finding Miley, and then Miley goes back inside his own half. Another goal for Manchester City in Spain. Mickey Gray.
Yeah, they doubled their lead. Villarreal 0, Manchester City 2, and it's Bernardo Silva with the simplest of headers. Good play down the right-hand side from Savinho. He just chops it onto his left foot, finds a little pocket just outside the 6-yard area, times his run perfectly. Bernardo Silva just heads the ball into the back of the net to dub City's lead. Villarreal 0, Man City 2.
Bernardo scoring his first of the season. Benfica trying to get it forward on the counter-attack. They got Luca Bacchio isolated there against Dan Burn, but the Newcastle man was there first and hooked it away.
Yeah, defended really, really well. But again, comes from Newcastle turning the ball over. Too predictable in that final third. I want to see some balls in for Trippier just to turn this Benfica backline and see what Voltemada can do with some balls into the box. But at the moment, Benfica look very comfortable. And as I said a little bit earlier, Jim, I feel like I'm repeating myself, but one more chance would be nice for all.
Benfica getting it forward there, and Auschnes was lurking, and Chow had to come with Pope coming out. Chow sensed that he had to deal with it. It might not get through to Pope before Auschnes would tap it past him, so he cleaned everything out. Chow puts it out for a throw. Good turnaround from PSV, who are 2-1 up against Napoli now. They've scored twice in the space of 4 minutes. All 3 goals in that game in the space of 7. Newcastle leading here by a goal to 0. Rios down towards Dedic. Dedic taking on Gordon and able to get it past him. Now it comes down for Pavlidis, a very tricky customer inside the Newcastle penalty area. Botman, though, didn't dive in, just waited for the opportune moment, knocked it away. Now Newcastle will break. Trippier ahead of Bruno Guimaraes here. And it's played to the veteran fullback who's got Voltemada in the centre. And he's got Araujo going across to try and make life difficult for him, and he succeeded. He won the ball. Newcastle fans didn't think he won it cleanly. No real complaints from Trippier himself. And Auschnes is going to be able to bring it away. He's gone back for Sudakov. Now play forward through the midfield and space opening up for Rios. Inside the centre circle, down for Luca Bacchio. Opportunity for him to run at Dan Burn. Dedic outside him, Luca Bacchio goes for goal. And Pope claws it away to make sure it's nothing worse than a corner.
Again, just that overturn. Newcastle fans are booing. That's not a foul on Kieran Trippier. He's trying to buy that. Really good refereeing. Great play from Benfica in that final third, though. Couple of passes in that corner. Get it out the other side. Straight to Luca Bacchio. He uses the run of Dedic just to come inside of Dan Burn and just tries to reverse it. Again, he's had 2 shots. One's hit the post, and that was going into the top corner. Really good save from Nick Pope.
Luca Bacchio's coming across to take the corner. Easy for me to say. Swings it in, left-footed. Near post flick wasn't great. It's back in with real venom from Sudakov. Newcastle players all throwing legs at that to try and steer it away. I think it was Burn that it hit. They've got another corner as we approach half-time. 90 seconds to go to the break. Still 1-0 Newcastle, but Benfica putting some pressure on late in the half.
Yeah, I found out that was going in. It was a really good touch from Dan Burn. It's a bouncing one going into the far corner, but he's just got a little nick on it and took it over the bar.
Inter Milan lead at Union SG by a goal to 0 as the corner is far in towards the near post. They'll do it all again because Murphy's headed it away. PSG 2-1 up in that topsy-turvy game away to Leverkusen. Desiree Doué has scored. Remember, that's a 10-a-side contest there. Zabani sent off for PSG. In comes the latest corner. Again, it's headed away by Burn. Out to Luca Bacchio on the edge of the penalty area. Auschnes through a crowd. Gordon has gone down hurt on the edge of the box as Luca Bacchio stretched to get the shot in. Gordon has stayed down. Play now stops. The referee let it go on for a good 6 or 7 seconds, then races over and berates Luca Bacchio and shows him a yellow card. Initially, referee didn't even think it was a foul.
This is why I really dislike football nowadays. It's a terrible touch from Luca Bacchio. He's thinking about doing it. He kicks the ball away. His feet are planted on the floor. Anthony Gordon kicks him, and he's got a yellow card for it. As you said, the referee didn't see it. It's been given by the linesman. Again, I'm just watching Anthony Gordon stay down here, trying to get treatment. On the replays in front of us, Jim, he hasn't touched him. It's Anthony Gordon that's kicked him, and somehow Anthony Gordon's getting treatment. The game's gone, mate. The game has gone.
I'm just seeing a replay of it now. Gordon is lucky. It'd be interesting to see, actually. The VAR is Thomas Kwiatkowski as we go into 2 minutes of added time. You could look at one of the angles we've seen of that and say that Gordon has arrived late and has gone over the top of the ball with his right foot. But it is a yellow card for Luca Bacchio, actually his first of the season, the Belgian winger. We're in 2 minutes of added time, and play will restart with a Nick Pope free kick for Newcastle. Not too far outside the box, and not too far away from the edge of the other penalty area when Dan Burn heads it, but Rios will bring it down. Try to flick it off Burn and out of play for a throw. They got the throw eventually as Ramsey went in strongly. A throw that Dedic is going to take on the Benfica right-hand side. It's 1-0. Anthony Gordon at the end of a lovely passing move involving Voltemada and Murphy to give Newcastle the lead. Luca Bacchio has hit the post and come close to the second one. Now Baranachea and Ramsey, and the referee has said that Ramsey's dived. It's not going to book him for the dive, but he clearly indicated that there was no foul, and Ramsey was back on his feet very quickly. One back here towards the edge of the area. It's Trippier. Oh, too much on the ball forward. Had he got a shot in, it could have been real problems for Trubin. He saw Murphy out of the corner of his eye, tried to roll him in, but he put far too much on the pass and just knocked it straight into the hoardings.
Yeah, he's got a shoot there, Kieran. Obviously, it's a lovely press from Newcastle. It goes into Otamendi, tries to spin it round the corner. Newcastle see it, they go and press and get the ball. Trippier wins it. He's running into the edge of the 18-yard box. It's set up nicely for him. Just hit it. Tries to be really clever and sliding Murphy. And as you heard the moans and groans, every Newcastle fan thought he should have hit that as well. But just on Jacob Murphy, again, why are players going down? We had all of this with Liverpool at the weekend, when players are holding their head for legitimate reasons. And now it makes it so hard for referees when you go down every single time, even when you're the one making the foul.
Baranachea has the last touch of the first half, and the Newcastle fans rise to their feet and applaud their team off. Made hard work of it at times. Benfica, over a few 5-6 minute periods, have been the better team. So too have Newcastle. They have the lead through Anthony Gordon. Hugely entertaining fare. Newcastle just shading possession, just shading attempts, but significantly a goal up at half-time. Gordon with it, and it's 1-0 Newcastle at the break, Adrian.
Man City 2 up at Villarreal at half-time. We'll hear about that shortly. Here at the Emirates, Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0 at half-time. We'll get a round-up of the 45 shortly. But Troy Deeney at Newcastle, really interesting that Jose Mourinho went down the tunnel a minute before the half-time whistle went. So, what, was he upset about something? Was he just keen to get in and give instructions to his team at half-time? What do you think?
I think he's really keen. When I look at it, they've done really well, eh? They'll be really happy. Obviously, the goal is frustrating, but they've kept everything that Newcastle have tried to do to them on the whole in front of them. They've had chances of their own. Luca Bacchio, who we spoke about at the top of the show, has been excellent. Hit the post. Probably could have scored on another day. But they've been good. I think he's just probably looking at it and going, right, how do I assess this team, and how do I have a few little chats about a bit of belief? Because I think if Benfica raise it 5 or 10%, there's an opportunity for them to score goals in this second half.
You mentioned that Eddie Howe had said in his press conference it's too difficult for Newcastle to score goals right now. Well, their goal was really easy. A turnover in the middle, I think it was Thiaw, passes it to Bruno Guimaraes, plays it down the right, low cross, Gordon scores. It was too easy for Newcastle to score.
Yeah, this one was what I've been saying they should be doing from the start. Every time they win it back, it's on just to go straight forward. 2 passes forward, as you say. Bruno Guimaraes gets on the half turn. Lovely ball into Jacob Murphy. But what makes the goal, I don't know if you've seen it yet, is that because Voltemada's coming from deep, the 2 centre-backs have to kind of jump to the edge of the 18-yard box, which means it's just a lovely little slid ball across for Gordon coming in at the back post. And we know the pace and the power that he has. Once he's away from you, you're not going to stop him. As you say, it's an easy goal, but it's not been all Newcastle's way. The fan base have been a little bit frustrated, a little bit of groans and boos as it got into the game, but they'll be happy for right now. But I'm pretty sure Eddie Howe will be looking at his bench with Tonali and Joe Linton thinking, we need to get these boys on and just get hold of this midfield a little bit.
Your old teammate, Luca Bacchio, I mean, showing up really well. A couple of really good efforts, hitting the post, then involved with that incident with Anthony Gordon. And by the way, for anyone who doesn't know, Anthony Gordon does dive. He does stay down. He does pretend to be. This happens regularly in football, in case people don't realise. And it definitely happened. He was the one that committed the foul, but he's managed to pull the wool over the referee's eyes, hasn't he?
Yeah, he has. And for me, the Ramsey one was 10 times worse, Ed. He's running forward. He takes a touch and he thinks that the player's coming and just rolls on the floor, holding his ankle. The referee, to his credit, says play on. As soon as the right back gets the ball for a throw-in, Ramsey's back up ratting around. It's like, just book them. Just book them. And as I said to Jim here, when we're talking about the game at the weekend when McAllister goes down with a legit head injury, how are we expecting referees now to be able to assess every situation when players go down literally for nothing? How are we expecting referees to do that, do their job properly? For me, you've got to start booking these guys as quickly as possible.
Okay, let me ask you a question. Anthony Gordon does that in the box in the World Cup final next summer in New Jersey and wins England the penalty that wins them the World Cup. Are you complaining?
I'll always complain. You know me. But what I will say is, we'll be happy, but just for the benefit of football, it's not right, mate. It's not right. As you said, it's not a foul. It's actually a foul on Luca Bacchio. But again, they get away with it. But I just think it's a real hard place for referees now when we're calling for them to spot everything and get hold of everything. And players just keep going down. I remember 5 or 6 years ago, they were talking about Wilfried Zaha going down and have to book people for diving. They did it once and then stopped it. And I don't remember anyone really being booked for diving ever since. So for me, just for the good of football, Aid, it needs to get better.
Troy, take a breather. It's been an exciting first half. Newcastle lead Benfica by a goal to nil live on Talksport. The other Todd has scored for Dunfermline. Matthew Todd, Airdrie 0, Dunfermline 3. That's 2 minutes after the restart. I'll give you all the half-time scores from the Champions League shortly, but let's round up what's happened elsewhere. Newcastle leading 1-0. That game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. Arsenal being held goalless here at the Emirates, Alex Crook.
They are indeed. It's Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0. A frustrating first half for the Gunners in many ways, who came flying out of the starting blocks. Eberici Eze had an early shot from the edge of the penalty area, deflected. It looped over the goalkeeper, Jan Ovlek. Looked like it was going to find the top corner. In the end, it bounced off the top of the crossbar, and Declan Rice probably should have done better than lashing the rebound wide. Moments later, and it was an Eze through ball to send Bukayo Saka spinning in behind. Oblak, to his credit, made himself big, and as Saka tried to lift his shot over the goalkeeper, he saved with the shoulder. I don't know if David Raya was getting bored at that point. He had nothing to do, the Arsenal goalkeeper. For reasons known only to himself, he tries to dribble with the ball down by the corner flag. He gets caught in possession. He then has to slide in and knock the ball out for a throw. That's taken quickly, and it came for Julian Alvarez on the edge of the penalty area, who bobbled his shot wide of an empty goal. That would have been a goal for Atletico against the run of play. Arsenal did have the ball in the net through Martinelli, but he was correctly flagged offside. I think overall, Adrian, after that promising start, Mikel Arteta will be a little bit disappointed that his side haven't created more clear-cut chances.
Give me your verdict on Gyökeres in that first half.
Is he playing?
Exactly the same. I feel exactly the same way. There's no impact from him whatsoever. Could do better. Half-time, Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0. City in control in Spain at half-time. Mickey Gray.
Yeah, they certainly are, Adrian. It's Villarreal 0, Manchester City 2, and Erling Haaland with his 4th Champions League goal this season and 53rd overall, plus his 15th goal for City this season. They took lead on 17 minutes. Good play down the right-hand side from Rico Lewis. His pullback was put into the back of the net with his right foot from Erling Haaland to make it 1-0. Then they had to wait till the 40th minute for Bernardo Silva, a header across from Savinho down the right-hand side to double City's lead. It's all they deserved. They could have actually been ahead by more. Doku had a close chance. Erling Haaland missed with a real sitter for him from his head as well. But Villarreal have to do a little bit more in the second half. Tayan Buchanan, we've not really seen him, and even Mukatadze, who's been really, really poor in that first half. They need to show a little bit more in the second half, Villarreal. It's Villarreal 0, Manchester City 2.
OK, so your half-times in the Champions League. Arsenal 0, Atletico Madrid 0. Bayer Leverkusen 1, Paris Saint-Germain 4. Both sides down to 10 men. Desiree Doué has scored 2 of the PSG goals. Copenhagen 1, Borussia Dortmund 1. Joe Bellingham started tonight for Dortmund. Newcastle 1, Benfica 0 live on Talksport. PSV 2, Napoli 1. PSV coming from behind. USG 0, Inter Milan 2. And Villarreal 0, Man City 2 live on Talksport 2. Championship, Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 0. Derby 0, Norwich 0. Hull 2, Leicester 0. Ipswich 0, Charlton 0. Millwall 2, Stoke City 0. Portsmouth 0, Coventry 1. Preston 0, Birmingham 1. Bristol City 1, Southampton 1. That's an 8 o'clock, that's half time. In League 1, Reading goalless with Northampton. League 2, Swindon 1 apiece with Notts County. National League, Morecambe 2 up at Boston. Scunthorpe 1 up at Eastleigh. And York, Boreham Wood is all square at 1 apiece. And in the Scottish Championship, Airdrie 0, Dunfermline 3. And Partick have just equalised at home to Ayr United 1-1. This is Talksport.
Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it.
At Morrison's this spooky season, treat the whole neighbourhood to goodie bags full of devilish delights, like Haribo Sharing and Swizzle Superstars Variety Mix Tubs for £3.50 each with your More card. Don't mind if I do.
More reasons to shop at Morrison's.
Majority of stores and online subject to availability. Excludes Morrison's Daily More Card app required 18 plus. Haribo tubs 600 grams. Swizzles tubs 630 grams. £5.50 each without More card.
The clocks have changed and the nights are getting darker. This autumn, shine your light to make public spaces safe for everyone.
Oh, is she okay? Maybe I should do something. What do I do?
Head to unwomenuk.org to find support. All spaces should be safe spaces. If you see someone uncomfortable in the public space and it looks safe to do so, do something.
Stop, support, report.
We know what it's like over winter. Phones red hot, boilers down, and Mrs. Miggins in number 27 is freezing. That's why it's heat mode on at Plum Centre. Boilers, air source heat pumps, radiators, you got it. Parts, trade perks and bulk deals, all yours. This is everyday trade value. Open a trade account today. T's and C's apply. Plum Centre, a Wolseley business.
Live only on DAZN October 25th. Two champions lie in wait to earn a swing at the Ukrainian king. Joseph Parker, WBO interim heavyweight champion, has destroyed the competition. Bakoli, Zhang and Wilder. Now Fabio Wardley, WBA interim heavyweight champion and British knockout powerhouse, stands in his way. Only one will earn the shot at undisputed. It's truly all or nothing. Parker versus Wardley, October 25th. Watch only on DAZN.
Mikel, a big Champions League fixture versus Atleti, a physical opponent. How will you get the 3 points? With our set pieces, of course. Against those centre-backs. Long throws. Oh, good luck with that. Okay, then, plain and simple housery. Against the Simeone team. Oh, no. Are we actually going to have to play some football? Can Arsenal beat Atleti at their own game? Whatever the case, Pad is giving you your money back as a free bet if your bet with a loses on any Champions League game this week. Paddy Power. Pre-match online bet by bets only in 4legs plus. Maxi bet varies from £2 to £25 per customer. T's and C's apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Champions League live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, we're here for it. King of football commentary. Kick-off live on Talksport.
Big night of Champions League football, and don't forget, every Sunday night on TalkSport you can listen to Trans-Europe Express as Danny Kelly and European expert Andy Brass will bring you all the latest news from around the continent. If you miss it, the best bits are available as a podcast on the TalkSport app or wherever you get your podcast. Goals going in, full times in the EFL Trophy. Barnsley 5, Man United 2, and Jack Fletcher's sent off there for Man United. He scored as well. Stevenage 5, Crystal Palace 2 as well as a full time. Ipswich 0, Charlton 1. Sonny Carey scored again for Charlton. That's 2-2. Derby 1, Norwich 0. David Ozo's opened the scoring for Derby, seeking their first home win. Partick 2, Ayr United 1, and Sheffield United have equalised at Blackburn. Own goal 1 apiece. Newcastle lead 1-0 against Benfica live on TalkSport. Let's get the half-time odds with Ladbrokes.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
And right now you can get Newcastle to win at 2-7. Remember, they're 1 up. The draw is 19-5. The Benfica win is 11-1. Nick Voltemada's second goal scorer was 9-2. Now 9-1. That's the latest odds with Ladbrokes. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
Odds update on TalkSport with Ladbrokes. Get a free bet every week of the season and a big boost every day. That's Ladisfaction. Minimum £5 bet. Conditions apply. 18 plus. Gambleaware.org.
And we've got a big goal at Fratton Park in the Championship. Ian Abrahams.
Portsmouth 0, Coventry 2. Brandon Thomas Asante second. Ball worked in from the left-hand touchline by Ellis Sims, and he had the freedom of Fratton Park, freedom of Hampshire to run through on the goalkeeper and score. This, by the way, after the goalkeeper, Carl Rushworth, broke Grizovic's record, which has stood for 35 years for number of minutes without conceding a goal. Good luck, Pompey, in the last half hour. Pompey 0, Coventry 2.
What a week for Brendan Thomas. Asante scored at the weekend, scored 2 tonight, and qualified for the World Cup with Ghana last week as well. Let's go to the MKM in the Championship. Latest there for Talksport's Alan Biggs.
Yeah, into the second half. It's still Hull 2, Leicester 0. Very impressive from Hull City. Surprise team in the Championship this season, would go above Leicester if this holds. And a run into the area, and a dive has been called. There were appeals for a penalty for the challenge on Joe Gelhardt, and there's a yellow card. You were talking about this just earlier, somewhat controversially from my long-range view here, a yellow card for diving. Anyway, a big test for Hull, conceded almost as many as they score, in fact virtually level on goals for and conceded. Big test second half with the Foxes having Jeremy Monga and Aaron Ramsey on from the bench. The 2 goals, Liam Miller, excellent finish, first start from him for a year. Joe Gelhardt supplied it. He also supplied the second goal. Hull City 2, Leicester City 0.
Leicester unbeaten in 8, but 2 down tonight. What's happening at Millwall, Ollie Klink?
7 minutes gone in the second half. It's Millwall 2, Stoke 0. Just seen a chance for Stoke. Thomas Rigo inside the box at the near post, following just wide. Stoke made a triple change at half-time, and they needed it. They were shocking in the first half. Bocat, Seko and Cisse all came off. Cresswell, Baker and Manhoof have all come on. So Mark Robins playing his hand early. Stoke trying to find a way back into this, but they've got work to do. 7 gone in the second half. Millwall 2, Stoke 0.
Well, 2 quick goals for Charlton. Macaulay Gillespie, the centre half, has just scored at Portman Road. It's now Ipswich Town 0, Charlton Athletic 2. Is that going to be back-to-back defeats for Ipswich Town in the Championship? Let's go back to St James Park. Teams will be on the way out shortly. Newcastle lead 1-0. Benfica, though, Troy Deeney not out of this.
No, absolutely not. Got Jose Mourinho just out in front of us, just talking to Rios. They feel that they'll have the opportunity here to just keep going, and I just think this is on Newcastle now to up the tempo 10% and just physically dominate this Benfica team. Benfica are technically very good, but it's about running over them now and really getting some shots off when they get the opportunity.
And we're back underway for the second half, Adrian, with Newcastle, black and white striped shirts, kicking from left to right. Lewis Miley in possession, playing it down to Sven Botman. I'll go through the 2 teams for you in a moment here at St James's Park. And a reminder that the Manchester City game away to Villarreal continues live for you right now over on Talksport 2. City with a comfortable lead already as Barrenechea is fouled by Ramsey. Newcastle have Pope in goal, Trippier, Chow, Botman and Byrne, Guimaraes, Schmeili and Ramsey, Jacob Murphy, Voldemada and Gordon. Benfica lining up Trubin in goal, Dedic, Antonio Silva, Otamendi and Araujo. Auchnez, Barrenechea and Rios, Luka Bacchio, Pavlidis and Sudakov. Pavlidis chasing after a ball that is played forward. Actually, Luka Bacchio is the closest to it, but neither of them could get there. And he goes out of play for a goal kick that will be taken by Nick Pope away to our left-hand side. Just nipped downstairs Troy Deeney to the press room. And the general consensus from the former Newcastle players down there was that, OK, it's 1-0. It could have been very different. And that this is not yet won.
No, absolutely not. I think we would concur with that. It does feel that there's a bit of animosity, a bit of anxiety in the air. But Newcastle can really kick on. I won't be surprised, Jim, if you see the 2 midfielders come on in Tadali.
As Gordon tries to get inside the penalty area, Antonio Silva saw him coming, flicked it away, and Gordon lets the ball right out of play for Newcastle's first corner of the second half. Sorry, Troy.
No, it's fine. I just think that you can see the likes of Tonali, Joe Linton, Elanga coming on and adding just real tempo. But when they don't have that normal 3, they lose control. And I think while they've got some good players in there, they don't have that same bite, that same power, that same emphasis to really go and kill teams off. So I think Eddie Howe will be happy, but we'll want to see them really kick on in the second half.
And so this is Newcastle's first corner of the second half, their 4th of the game, and Trippier's going to take it. It is a deeper one. Chow almost got there ahead of the goalkeeper. It's come out of the edge of the penalty area where Luka Bacchio takes a touch. I think he was trying to buy a free kick, then turns into trouble. The referee tells him rightly to get back to his feet, and then as soon as he does, the ball is passed to him and he can get it away. Not the best clearance, though. Falls for Dan Byrne. And back is going to come again from Anthony Gordon. Down to Jacob Murphy. Nice weight on the pass. Really zipping across the surface. And he's done well to beat Auchnez. Araujo comes across. Puts it out of play for a Newcastle throw. 1-0 they lead. 2.5 minutes gone in the second half here on the mighty Talk Sport. 2-1 Notts County lead at Swindon. Alassana Jatta has scored the second for Notts County, looking for a 4th straight win in League Two. Here's Kieran Trippier, 2 yards in from the right-hand side, very nearly got it forward towards Guimaraes. It's cleared by Araujo, picked up by Miley. And Miley finds Gordon with a lovely touch, and then into Voltemada, who spins it first time down towards Murphy. And it would have been a great ball had he not taken a horrible bounce in front of him that just saw it dive up into the air and just spring above his head. He got the top of his head to it, but couldn't keep it in. It's out for a Benfica throw.
Much better start than, hasn't it, Jim, for Newcastle. More deliberate, more intense going forward. Just feel like Benfica just haven't been able to settle in these first 5 minutes of the second half. But Newcastle now need to get it going. You can hear the crowd trying to sing now, trying to get them on. I just think they need to turn it up a little bit. Stop playing everything in front and just run all over this Benfica team.
This game brought to you in partnership with TNT Sports, the home of European football. And Benfica in their customary red and white, bringing forward towards the edge of the penalty area here. Pavlidis with a little layoff. Lukebakio trying his luck with a left-footed shot that has laid out Botman. It's great defending, really brave. He knew that he had to wear it. He's done exactly that. And he's lying flat on his back now and feeling the effects of it. It's a corner.
But again, everything good that comes from Benfica comes down that right-hand side. It does get set back for Lukebakio. I think he's just going wide, but Botman can't let that go. He has to get his head on it. He'll be feeling that one, but he definitely doesn't want to give his place back to Shah after how long it's took him to get back in this team.
Lukebakio going across to take the corner. A little bit of movement buzzing around the edge of the penalty area. As the ball comes into the near post, it's taken a flick on its way through. Murphy should be able to bring that under control, and does so. Then lays it back for Ramsey. Ramsey to Trippier getting it forward. Dedic has got all the time in the world to run round it and get it back under control for Benfica. Finds the tall blonde Argentinian Barrenechea. A little 1-2 between him and the bowling Auschnes, and then Barrenechea with a long diagonal out towards the far touchline. Good climb from Dan Burn. Heads it away from Lukebakio and back for Nick Pope. 1-0 Newcastle.
Yeah, really impressed with Rios for Benfica. Looks really powerful. Gets up and down the pitch really well. Smart footballer. Interesting one to keep an eye on that moving forward, Jim.
Yeah, he's a Colombian international. He's played a couple of dozen times for his country and actually had a pretty good game at Chelsea, notwithstanding the fact that his own goal was the difference between the two sides at the end of the night. Gordon's done well here, so too Murphy. Voltemada, great strength, holds it up, finds Trippier, who pulls it back. Voltemada with a little step over. Miley couldn't get there in time. Guimaraes, though, picks up the seconds. Back down for Trippier. Newcastle looking for a second goal. Ball clipped inside the box. Guimaraes sees it headed away by Otamendi. Down towards Kieran Trippier again. Into the feet of Guimaraes. She's told to turn. Voltemada likewise threads it through. Gordon right-footed, and it hits Otamendi. Then comes down the edge of the penalty for Voltemada, and he's taken a touch on his way through, out of play for a corner.
He knows how to play this crowd, doesn't he? Voltemada comes back to him, lovely set. He looks like he's about to just roll it into that far corner. Takes a deflection off Otamendi, but Newcastle again being a bit more deliberate now, going forward with some tempo. I think Voltemada scores there just as we're watching the replay. Really good defending from Benfica.
And his name is being sung. Kieran Trippier preparing to take this corner. They love him here, Voltemada. In comes Trippier's delivery towards the penalty spot, and it should be 2. Dan Burn coming to meet it. And in fact, I think it may well have been Miley was it that got the last touch. A powerful header, and it's a free header. He's only 7 yards out. He's climbed high, and he's headed it over the bar by a couple of yards. And will that be an important moment at the end of the night?
No, the young man's got to score there. It's a great ball from Kieran Trippier. Guess, as you say, 6-7 yards out. He's up nice and early. He's not as if the ball's too high for him. Just gets it all wrong and heads it high, wide and ugly, unfortunately.
Well, extraordinary scoreline at Portman Road, where Miles Leaburn has now made it Ipswich 0, Charlton 3. 3 in 13 minutes there for Nathan Jones's Addicts. And Charlton looking for a 4th win in 6. Surely going to get it. PSG going to win tonight as well. They're 5-1 up away at Bayer Leverkusen. Nuno Mendes has scored that goal. 4 of those have come in the last 20 minutes. That game is 10 aside. And the holders leading 5-1 away to a Bayer Leverkusen side who are unbeaten in 8. This one 1-0 to Newcastle. It will give them 6 points from their first 3 games. In terms of what is needed, last season 16 points guaranteed a top 8 finish. Villa got 16 and finished. You remember they edged out Celtic on match day 8 and finished in the top 8. 11 got you through to a playoff place. I think this year maybe 10 with a good goal difference might get you through with a top 24 finish. But Benfica, if they were to lose here, would have no points from the first 3 games, so would probably need to win 4 of the last 5 to qualify. And they've got Leverkusen at home, Ajax away, Napoli at home, Juventus away, Real Madrid at home. That's what they got left. They can't afford to lose here. And so you can imagine that they're going to have to go for it at some stage. Newcastle pushing forward now with Gordon. And still he goes, tiptoeing his way through, eventually cleared by the retreating Barrenechea. Auschnes goes down very easily. Referee's got that right, I think. Guimaraes didn't foul him. Murphy, and the goalkeeper gets a right hand to his shot, which might just have been going wide, but he wasn't taking any chances. Helps it on its way past for a corner.
Excellent refereeing again. Benfica man goes down, absolutely nowhere near anyone touching him. Should be another yellow card. It breaks to Murphy. He gets one touch, faces the defender up, just fires it through his legs on the angle. Great save from the keeper, but I feel like Benfica are just starting to get a little bit nervous now, maybe because of all the games you were just talking about, Jim, but they're certainly not a team that plays with any sort of fear, are they? This is not a team that hasn't won anything.
No, not at all. In comes the latest Newcastle corner. Goalkeeper got caught underneath it. Otamendi headed it away. The referee saw a foul. And it's a free kick which Benfica will take inside their penalty area. Now elsewhere, Union Saint-Gilloise, who lost 4-0 to Newcastle last time out, 3-0 down at home to Inter. Hakan Çalhanoğlu's got the latest. And Sheffield United have turned it around at Blackburn. That's 2 of the bottom 3 in the Championship. Harrison Burrows has given Chris Wilder's Blades the lead there. They'd only scored 5 goals all season before tonight. But they've scored 2 at Ewood Park this evening. Blackburn 1, Sheffield United 2. Dan Burn playing the ball forward over halfway. But it was a poor touch on by Miley. He was looking for Bruno Guimaraes, didn't find him, and Benfica have got it back. They're forced to go deeper. Otamendi down towards Araujo. Araujo's ball in towards Pavlidis. Botman has stepped up from the defensive line. There's a gap there now, and Sudakov has done well, turns into that and then flashes the ball past Byrne out towards Lukebakio. Rios making his way forward. Lukebakio's got it inside the penalty area. It's been shown inside. That could be dangerous. Played it back for Barrenechea, and he's almost put it back into Town Park. 1-0 Newcastle.
Really, really good football there for Benfica there in the build-up. Lovely play down his right-hand side. Again, Lukebakio just hugs the far touchline. Dan Burn doesn't know whether to stick with the midfield runner or stay out with Lukebakio. He does neither. Works out to Lukebakio, but then he makes all the wrong decision. Cuts back. Sets it to the edge of the box. And as you said, I think it's just landed in the car park just about now. Not very good.
Not his best effort. Let's find out what's been going on elsewhere at the start of the second half. First to the Emirates. Alex Crook.
Your timing is perfect, Jim, because it's Arsenal 1, Atletico Madrid 0. Gabriel with a breakthrough goal. It came from a Declan Rice free kick, floated into the penalty area, and it is a bullet header to give Arsenal the lead. Arsenal 1, Atletico Madrid 0.
Arsenal from a set piece yet again, but listen, they've been so effective from them. Infinitely better almost than any other Premier League team from set pieces over the last 2.5 seasons. And if it's a profitable avenue and other teams can't deal with it, then exploit it. They've done it again. Gabriel with the header. They lead by a goal to 0, and that'll be 3 wins from 3 if they can hold on there. And that would be their 8th win in the last 9 games in all competitions, their 6th in a row. Ball played forward here by Botman. Newcastle leading 1-0. Looking for what will be only their 4th win in 14 games in all the competitions. Sudakov back to the edge of his own penalty areas. Bristol City have come from behind now, take the lead at home to Southampton, 2-1 at Ashton Gate. Lukebakio in possession, but in the centre circle this time for Benfica. Gordon coming in, he's done brilliantly. Just picked his pocket, came in from the blind side. Nobody told Lukebakio he was coming, and he's just walked away with the ball at his feet. Now Bird, Voltemada with a lovely touch. Has got great awareness leading the line. Gordon then side foots it forward, looking for Murphy. Poor clearance from Araujo, and Murphy has it again. Chips it inside the penalty area, but not deep enough for Voltemada. Trubin comes out and catches it. And we play 58 minutes with Newcastle leading 1-0. Here's Troy Deeney.
You said Lukebakio didn't have any shout. He had about 17 seconds on the ball. He does know this is professional football, right? You can't get that much time in the middle of the pitch, let alone in the Sunday League, never mind in the Champions League. It took far too long, but again, Newcastle just being a little bit sloppy. As you said, Voltemada, as soon as the ball comes into him, he links it really well, but he's also on the move, and then they just give it away unnecessarily. I think Eddie Howe will be really frustrated.
A goal at Hull in a moment. But firstly, Benfica bringing it forward. Dedic. And the retreating Guimaraes has done well. He's blocked his cross. He's laid it back. Chow can clear only as far as Baranachea. Baranachea out towards the right-hand touchline where the ball from Pavlidis is poor. Easily claimed by Pope. And let's get news of that goal that's brought Leicester back into it from Alan Biggs.
Yes, Hull 2, Leicester 1. Aaron Ramsey on as substitute has scored. It was a terrific finish. Kind of clipped it in to the top corner from the edge of the area, having wasted almost an open goal a couple of minutes before that. Leicester, as you say, are back in the hunt here. Hull 2, Leicester 1.
Score for the Foxes of the weekend. His first goal for the club. His brother in action in front of us here this evening. Here's Auschnes. Right-footed ball clipped in and straight through for Nick Pope. What's been going on in the first 15 minutes or so of the second half out in Spain? Villarreal, Manchester City. And Mickey Gray's watching.
Yeah, sorry, Jim. Yeah, it's still Villarreal 0, Manchester City 2. They've got a little bit sloppy in the second half, Man City, and let Villarreal come back into the game. They've been a little bit more physical in this second 45, and it's the big worrying thing for City is Nico Gonzalez has just went down holding his knee. He's left the field now. He's being replaced by Mateo Kovacic. So with Rodri out and Nico Gonzalez, I'm sure that's a big concern for Pep Guardiola. But they still look comfortable, City. They lead here. Manchester City leading 2-0 against Villarreal.
One of the Benfica players, I think it's Antonio Silva, has gone down over on the far touchline. Newcastle are contemplating bringing Harvey Barnes on. We'll go to the Championship while the treatment is being dished out. Firstly, to the Den. Talksport's Ollie Kling.
20 minutes to go. It's Millwall 2, Stoke 0. Millwall on the attack. They've been on top in this second half as well. Their best chance of the half, Casper Denor with a deflected effort just over the bar. Ivanovic has also come close. Stoke really struggling here, and at the moment Millwall looking comfortable. 20 minutes to go. Millwall 2, Stoke 0.
And next to Fratton Park, the leaders having a good night. Ian Abrahams.
They are. Pompey 0, Coventry 2. Both for Brandon Thomas Asante, who's just thundered one against the bar as well, as they go looking for a third. Pompey 0, Pompey 0, Coventry 2.
Coventry leading them by 2-0. There'll be a fifth win in a row. And Thomas Asante taking his Caesars tally up to 8. Graham Jones, the Newcastle coach, has just been out having a word with Voldemade. He was a good striker in his day. Graham Jones, with the likes of Wigan, and now having a word with Harvey Barnes. It's going to be Barnes and Jolinton who are coming on. I think there's a train of thought, Troy, that Barnes' best performances are as a sub, that he's almost semi-permanently cast in this role as a sub now, that when he starts for Newcastle he's disappointing, and almost that he feels he's got a point to prove when he comes off the bench, and he's been really good in this role.
Yeah, and also I just think when you have a team that opens up and it gets that Benfica are going to have to go after him, the space opens up for Harvey Barnes, and obviously he can carry you up the pitch as well. I just think he's got so much ability, but it's that final third, that final ball between him and Jacob Murphy. They're both great for the team. They do really well, but how do they get that little bit of quality in that final third? That's a bit for Eddie Howe.
So Barnes coming on for Murphy, and Jolinton's coming on for Ramsey. Clearly, Ramsey not quite 100% fit. He's had this ankle problem. They're just making sure they're managing his minutes very carefully. Benfica are going to make a change as well. We're going to see Ivanovic come on to replace Dedic.
To be replaced by number 9, Franjo Ivanovic.
Franjo Ivanovic, who signed from Union Saint-Gilloise in the summer, Croatian international, and he comes on to replace Dedic. So a right back going off and a left winger coming on to replace him. So they're going to have to shuffle things around a little bit. Might see them move to pretty much to a back three now. Araujo plays the ball forward. Ivanovic in the action straight away, but his first touch was heavy. Nudged it past Chow, but it'll go all the way through towards Nick Pope. So a little bit of a lull with the treatment and the substitutions that have been made. We played 18 minutes of the second half here on Talksport. Still Newcastle leading 1-0. That lull actually will probably do the Geordies a world of good.
Yeah, I think so. Just it's interesting seeing that Arsenes just gone to right back now for playing left wing. So expect for him to be caught out a little bit and Newcastle start targeting that area of Anthony Gordon.
Trippier getting the ball forward. Barnes, I think, has come from an offside position to receive that. He has. That's a free kick to Benfica. Aaron Drinan has equalised for Swindon at home to Notts County. That's his 9th goal in his last 8 games. He's got them both tonight. Up to 10 for the season. Swindon go top if they win. It's 2-2 at home to Notts County in that League 2 game tonight. Dortmund back ahead in Copenhagen with Rami Bensebaini scoring from the spot. Copenhagen 1, Borussia Dortmund 2. You're with Talksport. Newcastle had the lead for half an hour. And the man that's in possession now, Gordon, doing well to win it back from Ashnes. Lays it back for Malik Chow. 2 more games for you tomorrow from the Champions League as Liverpool go to Frankfurt, assuming that they will get there. And Monaco take on Spurs. The Liverpool game kicking off at 8 on Talksport. The Monaco Spurs 8 o'clock on Talksport 2. Another Benfica player is down injured. It's Sudakov, and Mourinho is in the ear of the 4th official again as another goal goes in at Arsenal. Alex Crook.
And the Gunners have doubled their lead in double quick time. Gabriel Martinelli this time with a lovely finish that kissed the inside of the post, but he owes so much to Miles Lewis Skelly. It was his run to bully his way past the Atletico defence that teed up his teammate. They struck twice, Arsenal, in 7 minutes. It's now Arsenal 2, Atletico Madrid 0.
Arsenal leading by 2-0 in the League 1 game tonight. Reading starting the night in the bottom 3. They lead Northampton by 1-0, and Bristol City are 3-1 up at home to Southampton now. And Scott Twine has scored 2 of them. Ivanovic tried to make his way down the Benfica left, has won a throw. We played 20 minutes of the second half. Listen to Newcastle against Benfica in the Champions League. It's live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever it is, they're here for it. Just over a quarter of the game remaining. Antonio Silva bringing the ball forward, threading it through towards Luca Bacchio. It's been a danger man for Benfica tonight. In this second half, the lead hasn't looked particularly fragile. It did at times in the first half, but it hasn't in this second. But Benfica beginning to enjoy a little bit more possession and pressure now. Ashnes tries to work it forward for Rios. Newcastle hoping to be able to hit on the counter-attack, get it away, and then Gordon just glides away from Barrenechea. Now we're running Antonio Silva. Harvey Barnes is making his way forward in the middle. It's played in towards Bruno Guimaraes. Deflects away and out for another Newcastle United corner. It's very well played by Gordon.
Excellent play from Anthony Gordon there. Just took the ball 50-60 yards up the pitch, gliding effortlessly past the Benfica defenders. If they didn't block that there, that was a lovely ball. I thought that would have been for 2-0. Bruno Guimaraes just ghosted into the penalty box on his own there, but really good from Anthony Gordon, just getting this Newcastle team up. But it does feels like this game's kind of slowly just coming to a halt, isn't it? There's no real threat from Benfica, and Newcastle just seem very comfortable at this moment in time.
Kieran Trippier taking this latest corner. He's worked it short towards Gordon. Back for Trippier again, and back for Gordon again. Left-hand side of the penalty area, and he thrashes in a low cross that hits Pavlidis and goes out. Sharp eyes of our in-stadium producer Declan McCarthy, spotting that the Benfica goalkeeping coach Ricardo Rocha picked up a yellow card for dissent whilst Jose was arguing with the 4th official.
He ain't doing anything else. The least he can do is watch what's going on there.
That's harsh. I'm just letting that linger in the air just so that he can get his line of defence right. In comes the latest corner. Voltemada can't get to it. Bruno Guimaraes can. Right-hand side of the penalty area. He's trying to get past Arsenes and Luca Bacchio. He's got the ground. Sandwiched between the pair of them. He was certainly looking for a penalty. Referee says no chance. VAR clearly is going to have a look at it. Arsenal have scored again. Here's Alex Crook.
What a 10 minutes this has been, Jim. Arsenal 3, Atletico Madrid 0. It came from across from the left-hand side. Eberechi Eze actually made a hash of his kick. He miscued it. It fell kindly for Victor Gyökeres, who's been anonymous to this point, but he turns on the 6-yard box and just about squirms the ball into the bottom corner. Arsenal 3, Atletico Madrid 0.
Arsenal leading 3-0. What a result that would be. Now, it's a free kick here to Benfica, and when play stopped, that gave Guimaraes the opportunity to go across and speak to the referee, who clearly pointed to his ear and then moved both hands across his body to say, no, they've had a look at it, they've told me it's no penalty. Troy's views on that in a moment. He's seen it again. Luca Bacchio swinging this free kick in. Good header away by Joelinton. Clears the penalty area. Rios recycles it though, lays it back for Arsenes. Ada Rios again on the right hand side of the box. Low ball in towards the near post. Burns put that away. Out for a Benfica corner. Troy, you've had another look. Was it the right call?
Absolutely. Again, we saw it 3 or 4 times. There's great skill from Guimaraes. Just rolls it through the legs. But as soon as it goes through the legs, instead of running onto the ball, he just flings himself on the ground. This referee's been excellent today in terms of just playing on and letting it play out. But he's got to start booking people. That's 4 or 5 now that could have been done for diving.
Another Benfica corner. Luca Bacchio's going to take it with his left foot. Deeper one. Pope again has done well. Coming out, taking control of the situation. Punches it clear. Baranachea heads it back outside the penalty area to Sudakov. Luca Bacchio hoisting it in again. It was an overhit cross, was actually a shot on target. Nick Pope is able to catch it easily, and then he has hurled it forward, but Barnes, he is going to be able to get there. And he can run forward towards the edge of the penalty area. The angle's tight, but he's pinned it in off the post. And Newcastle lead by 2-0. And immediately, 5 in black and white, go and embrace Nick Pope. What an assist that is. Came out and caught the cross, runs to the edge of the penalty area. He hurled it 50 yards upfield. He got it past the defender for Barnes, who still had plenty to do. He runs onto it, fires it low, across the face of Trubin, in off the far post, and Newcastle lead Benfica by 2-0. Route 1 football at its very best.
It's excellent from Nick Pope. It doesn't look like it's on at first, but Harvey Barnes just puts the afterburners on. And what a throw this is from 18 yards. Clears over the halfway line. Benfica do make a hash of it. Harvey Barnes doesn't care, just keeps driving, gets to the edge of the box, angles against him. Lovely ball, right to the far corner. Great strike, inside of the post and in. 2-0 to Newcastle. Game, set, match.
Started against Barcelona, his only Champions League start. He scored in Belgium. He scored again tonight. Harvey Barnes making it 2-0 Newcastle with 18 minutes to go. And Newcastle needing a night to really fire their season. Victor Gyökeres needing a night to fire his Arsenal career. They're coming at once. Alex Crook.
Oh, this is turning into a glorious European night for Arsenal, because it's now Arsenal 4, Atletico Madrid 0. Victor Gyökeres at the double. It was a Declan Rice corner, curled into the far post, headed down by Gabriel and bundled in from 2 yards out by Gyökeres. Arsenal 4, Atleti 0.
Arsenal 4 up, Newcastle 2 up, Manchester City 2 up. Away to Villarreal, live for you right now over on Talksport 2, and the goalkeeper has made a right mess of that. Trubin side putting the ball out towards Baranachea, immediately put under all kinds of pressure by Miley, and they just smuggled it back to the goalkeeper, who can make the save. Well, we said that the lead wasn't looking particularly fragile, but Newcastle will be mighty glad of the insurance that Harvey Barnes goal has given them.
That's a really good finish.
but it's just got all the anxiety out of the place as well. Benfica can feel a little bit hard done by. Played really, really well.
Ivanovic offside, the ball that's played forward, free kick.
Played really, really well, but you can see why they haven't won at many games. A little bit lacklustre in the final third, and they do give away massive opportunities, don't they? But let's take nothing away from this Newcastle team. Really, really good. Harvey Barnes, we spoke about him when he came on, loves that space in behind. You said he probably suits better as a super sub, and he's just made that just effortless there. It's a wonderful, wonderful finish.
Otamendi climbing over the back of Voltemada, who win it in the air. Voltemada waved up to his feet by Jose Mourinho. Sudakov drills it and smacks it into the thigh of Pavlidis. It's Voltemada again. He's lost out to Barrenechea this time. And Otamendi can bring it down inside the centre circle and get it forward here for Benfica, who are 2 down. And this could be all but a mortal wound to their Champions League campaign. Last season, there were 8 teams who had no points after 2 games, which is the situation Benfica are in tonight. And 7 of the 8 went out. Here's Guimarães coming forward down the right-hand side of the box, given a shove there by Barrenechea, and he's got a free kick, and Barrenechea is going to pick up a yellow card. No stranger to one, it's his 9th of the season already, which is a good effort. You'd be proud of that.
I didn't get that many yellow cards, actually. A couple of reds, but not that many yellows.
9 yellows by the middle of October. Fair play. Or not fair play, if you see what I mean.
It's really good play for Bruno Guimarães. So picks it up on the halfway, the little nutmegs. Again, just the ability to drive 40, 50 yards up the pitch. He gets a free kick for Newcastle, 2 yards out from the byline. But it just feels like Newcastle now will go through the motions and just control this. Try and get a third for the icing on the cake, but all Newcastle now.
So free kick that'll be taken by Trippier, right on the right-hand side of the box, just lofted towards the far post, headed back down. Guimarães, time to take a touch. His second touch had to be quick. In fact, Lukebakio's knocked it away from him and out for another corner, which will be taken on the Newcastle right-hand side. 2 more live Champions League games for you tomorrow. Liverpool away to Eintracht Frankfurt here on Talksport. Spurs go to Monaco on Talksport 2. Build up at 7 and 8 o'clock kickoff in both of those games here on the Talksport network. And then Sean Dyche's first match as Forest boss at home to Porto Thursday night in the Europa League here on Talksport. In comes the corner. Voltemada threw himself at it, couldn't get the touch. Dan Burn picks it up on the left-hand side of the penalty area. Forced away by Araujo. Ball comes back in from Gordon. Heads go up for it. Goalkeeper scrambling. Joelinton's headed it past him, but just wide.
Just a big physical team, aren't they? Once they've got all their first starting 11 in. Joelinton, what is he, 6'2", 6'3"? Great ball in from Anthony Gordon. Just has no right to win that, but it's a lovely flick. Just misses his head, hits his shoulder, and goes just wide of the far post. But you can hear this place now. It's rocking. This place feels like there's going to be another big Champions League night and another win at St James's Park.
Sheffield United 3-1 up at Blackburn. Tyrese Campbell has scored in stoppage time. It's a big win for them. Cross from Gordon took a deflection off Auschnes. Ends up in the hands of his goalkeeper and very nearly found its way through towards Barnes, who's scored once after coming off the bench. Sudakov, Barrenechea, and Joelinton chasing after it has put it out of play for a throw. Let's find out how Man City are doing. Any danger of them not winning that game away to Villarreal? Here's Talksport's Mickey Gray.
Well, I have to say, Jim, they're hanging on a little bit to this lead. It's still Villarreal 0, Manchester City 2, but Villarreal have had 2 or 3 really good opportunities in the last 4 or 5 minutes. Pape Gueye with a left foot shot, well saved by Donnarumma. Then Pepe, the ex-Arsenal player, has had 2 very good chances. One with his head that just went wide, and just moments before you came to me there as well, he just volleyed one over the top of the crossbar. City are hanging on a little bit. They're hanging on to this lead. Villarreal 0, Man City 2.
Arsenal 4-0 up in their game at home to Atletico Madrid. Newcastle leading 2-0 here. Ball that's played forward inside the penalty area, which is brought under control by Pavlidis. Botman, though, can get it away from him and neatly just plays Newcastle out of a potentially tricky-looking situation. Barnes with a lovely little nutmeg, retreating, lays it back for Trippier. Barnes again, Newcastle's number 11. Heeding the cry of man on as Rios was coming from his blind side. He's laid it back for Botman. Botman can knock it forward for Miley. And back it goes to the big Newcastle centre-half again. And just talking about the situation Benfica find themselves in. The one team that did qualify, having lost their first two last season, was AC Milan, and they won 5 of the next 6 and still only ended up coming 13th. I think if you lose your first 3, you've got no chance really. Dortmund 3-1 up at Copenhagen. Here's Gordon trying to get the ball inside that Benfica penalty area, wins another corner. Newcastle 2-0 up, and they're very good value for it now with 12 minutes to go.
Yeah, just winding down the clock now, but also a lot of game management being used from Newcastle. They're getting loads of corners, just sapping the life out of this Benfica team.
Anthony Gordon's name being sung now by the Newcastle United support. The EFL Trophy, another topsy-turvy game tonight. Barnet lead Cambridge 3-2 very late on. Full-time whistle's about to be blown in the EFL tonight. In comes the corner from the Newcastle left. It's very comfortably claimed by goalkeeper Trubin, and the referee spotted a foul. Free kick taken, and pinged forward very quickly, trying to get Ivanovic running from inside his own half. Goal side of Chow, who needed Byrne to come across and aid his cause. Newcastle neatly bring it down. Hakeem Moraes has flicked it over his own shoulder on the turn. He's just walked onto it, then pings a diagonal out towards Gordon, which was slightly overhit, but the crowd loving that.
He's just enjoyed himself now, isn't he? Great skill. Drops the shoulder there, sends the midfielder running the opposite way. And as a player, you do get a little bit carried away. Tried to ping a lovely ball there, just overhit it. Goes out for Anthony Gordon. But you can just see now that the confidence that Newcastle have now, this is what Eddie Howe will want moving forward. If they could start games like this, they'll be a real handful for other teams. You look at the bench tonight, the players that they haven't even brought on. You've got Joe Willett, you've got Alanga, you've got Tonali. This is a team that should be really causing people problems, both in Europe and in the Premier League. So I think he'll be trying to get a little bit of confidence right now. This little bit of zest that you get when you're winning a game, and hope they can eject that, bottle it up, and use it in the Premier League come this weekend.
I think they've got Fulham here on Saturday. That's the next game, and then Spurs here in the League Cup next week, which will bring you live on Talksport. I think the general consensus of opinion, though, from Newcastle supporters and journalists was that they were really off the pace at Brighton, notwithstanding Voltemada's brilliant goal. They couldn't really get him into the game. Tonali had one of his poorer games, which clearly is down to the illness that he's suffering from, but there were a few others that perhaps needed to be rested tonight. But Eddie seemingly has got the formula absolutely right. There's Jolinton flicking it on cleverly for Voltemada. Goes out now towards Anthony Gordon. Gordon running towards the edge of the penalty area, let him fly from distance, but Trubin had his near post covered. It's gone out of play for a goal kick.
But you're talking about the people that haven't been up to speed. How they've not managed to get the best out of Alanga, to me, is really worrying, because I'd have thought this was a match made in heaven. You see what Gordon's doing on the opposite side, you just expect him to do the same.
He's got it again now on the left-hand side of the area. He's gone down inside the box, and it's a penalty to Newcastle United. Well, Marciniak gave himself some thinking time.
I think he's given a goal kick. Well, he's going to book him.
It looked as though he pointed to the spot. Gordon is lying on his back. The referee has gone over there. Is he going to give him a yellow card? I mean, he has gone down. Seeing the replays, Rios is the defender. He's got his hand in the back of Gordon, but he's gone down really easily. I think the referee's got it right.
Yeah, spot on. But again, it's not like a broken record, Jim. How is that not a yellow card? He's just literally got in front of the man and flung himself to the floor. It's got to be a yellow card. I know he's English and Anthony Gordon's doing really, really well tonight, but we've got to start stopping this out of the game. This isn't football. This is acting now.
Well, he's got it again. Voltemada playing him in. Gordon rolling it in. It's Barnes! It's 3! The roar that celebrates the third goal! And 3 points on Tyneside! A match Newcastle really had to win to galvanise their chances of a top 8 finish in the Champions League. And it is a match that's brought them 3 goals and will bring them 3 points. Gordon rolling the ball in. Barnes slotting it under Trubin. Job done.
Excellent play from Anthony Gordon. That's what we want, isn't it? You want to see him playing really quick football. Lovely 1-2 with Voltemada again. Takes a good touch inside the middle of the half and just slots a lovely ball into Harvey Barnes. And the first time finish, game, set, match. This is perfect for Eddie Howe. Perfect.
3-0 Newcastle. And a third goal of the night at Fratton Park. Right at the end, Ian Abrahams.
It's going to end Portsmouth 1, Coventry 2. 2 goals from Thomas Asante is going to move Coventry 4 points clear at the top after 5 wins in a row. But the goal of the game, Mackenzie Kirk, right-hand side of the penalty area. Delicious chip over the top of Rushworth. Portsmouth 1, Coventry 2.
Norwich have been beaten 1-0 at Derby. And Sheffield United have won 3-1 at Blackburn. The Blades out of the bottom 3. Norwich now in the bottom 3 in the Championship after another defeat. Here's Luka Bacchio, 3-0 Newcastle. Luka Bacchio towards the edge of the area. Pavlidis couldn't get a shot in because his touch was heavy and Botman knocks it away. Newcastle poised to make a double change will bring in Langer and Asula on very shortly. It's an opportunity to give a few more Champions League minutes to a couple of players with very little experience at this level. I mean, Langer has played European football, of course, for United, Manchester United, but was going to be coming on for only his 6th Champions League appearance of his career. Will Asula, very little in the way of European football. He only made his European debut 3 weeks ago in Belgium, but he's going to get another chance here. Double change being made, Langer and Asula coming on.
Yeah, I'd expect Anthony Gordon and Voltemada to come off, and I think, yeah, they're the two. Give these guys the standing ovation that they deserve, but also get some legs, some fresh legs on and some minutes into the legs of the other boys. Anthony Gordon, other than the diving, has been a cut above everybody else on the pitch today. And Voltemada's got to be a cult hero, isn't he? Just the way he links up the play and he orchestrates his whole place. Really, really impressive from these two. These two will need to be fitted at their best for Newcastle to carry on climbing up the league.
It's finished at Pullman Road, Ipswich 0, Charlton 3, the Championship shock of the night. No shock at Fratton Park though, Moose.
Pompey 1, Coventry 2, so 5 straight wins for Frank Lampard's side, who are sky high right now. 4 clear of Middlesbrough played tomorrow, and the best start to a season in their history. Portsmouth 1, Coventry 2.
Full time as well at Millwall, Ollie.
It's finished Millwall 2, Stoke 0. First half goals from Femi Aziz and Tristan Kramer securing all 3 points for a dominant Millwall. Stoke slipped to 4th, 1 win in 5 for them. Millwall soar up to 3rd in the Championship. It's finished at the Den, Millwall 2, Stoke 0.
At the top, Coventry 25, Middlesbrough 4 points adrift with a game in hand. Millwall a further point behind them. Up to 3rd, as Ollie said, still playing at Hull. It's finished in League 2, Swindon 2, Notts County 2. Still playing in the League 1 game at Reading, 3 minutes to go. They lead Northampton 1-0. Bristol City 3, Southampton 1 in the 8 o'clock kickoff in the Championship tonight as Benfica play the ball out from the back, trailing here by 3-0 on the night that Gyökeres has scored 2 as Arsenal hit Atletico for 4 in the second half. Ivanovic trying to get past Trippier, gets towards the byline, stands it up, comfortably caught by Nick Pope. It's going to be a really interesting night of reaction on the phone-in. Reaction from the Champions League, from the EFL as well. Norwich supporters, another. They'd love to hear from you on the sports bar tonight. Arsenal fans, what's the significance of a 4-0 win at home to Atletico Madrid? 10:15, sports bar open for action with Jamie and Jace taking your calls tonight. Trippier playing it 4, but he's passed it straight through for Thomas Araujo, running towards the edge of the penalty area. Birmingham have won at Preston by a goal to 0 in the Championship. Ivanovic tries to work it back through the midfield, cut out though by Bruno Guimaraes, who clenches his fists and getting it away and looks up to the heavens. Barrenechea, and his ball straight out of play for a goal kick. Newcastle 3 minutes away now, Troy, leading 3-0.
Yeah, it's just really interesting there, just watching Kieran Trippier and Elanga not be on the same page in back-to-back times. I think Kieran Trippier wants Elanga to come short and turn and run, but Elanga's strength is what he's just done there. He's shown short and ran in behind. I think that's where you just got to get a little bit more
personality into each other. Langer's got to be telling Kieran Trippier, every time you get the ball, just drop it in behind. And I think that's where the little nuances about being at Nottingham Forest and then being at Newcastle being completely different. He's just been found out a little bit, Anthony Elanga.
He's gone up for that one in the heart of the midfield. Otamendi beaten and Bruno Guimaraes slid into a challenge. Trippier can mop things up for Newcastle. Now work it back for Chow. You're listening to Newcastle Benfica in the Champions League. It's live on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Here for it. Book now at enterprise.co.uk. Joe Willock's going to be coming on for Newcastle in a moment. That, I think, is going to be their last change. There's Guimaraes to his left for Joe Linton, who will come forward. Newcastle looking for a fourth late in the game. There's a collision inside the penalty area. Play goes on with Joe Linton. And he's turned into trouble rather than out of it. Barrenechea getting it forward. Good challenge from Miley to stop Lukebakio on the counter-attack. And here's Barnes on a hat-trick, running inside the penalty area. And he's slipped. Don't think he's looked for that. I mean, Troy might tell me differently, but he's... OK, Troy does tell me differently. But he certainly slipped. It was no foul and no complaints as he got back to his feet, having gone down with a little collision with Arsnes. Here's Elanga on the right-hand side of the box. Gets to the byline and wins another corner.
What's the chance that Willock comes on for Bruno Guimaraes and he gets the biggest ovation we've heard at St James's Park all night?
You've called it. Well, you've called half of it. Willock coming on. And let's listen as Bruno Guimaraes gets a rapturous reception. And he turns, hands above his head, applauding the Gallagher. And then the Lees' end of the ground and walks off in no discernible hurry, not to milk the applause necessarily, but just to run a few seconds off the clock. Willock comes on to replace him. You yourself, Troy, applauding his efforts.
Yeah, he's an excellent football player, and he is the heart and soul of this Newcastle team. Really, really good performance from him tonight.
Elanga taking this latest corner, which is heading down and poured away. Botman denied. Good save by Trubin, that. Comes back out for Botman. Hull have won. We'll get details in a moment. The ball on the left-hand side of the penalty area is Sula! And then coming in at the far post, Elanga from almost inconceivable angle. It was Willock, I beg your pardon. Couldn't turn it in and has headed it away. We're into stoppage time. Only 2 additional minutes to be played. Full-time details from Hull come from Talksport's Alan Biggs.
Hull 2, Leicester 1, and Hull leapfrog Leicester with a third straight victory. The Foxes' first defeat in 9, despite Aaron Ramsey's late goal and Harry Winks hitting the post right at the end. Liam Miller and Joe Gelhardt with Hull's first half goals. A really enjoyable game as well. Hull 2, Leicester 1.
I should tell you, Saturday night, Talksport brings you more heavyweight boxing. Joseph Parker and Fabio Wardley face off for the WBO interim title. It's live from the O2 Arena. Parker Wardley this Saturday from 7:30 on the Talksport network. Talksport YouTube boxing channel as well. There's Willer getting it forward here towards Willis Sula. Newcastle still with an opportunity to gloss this night and very nearly able to do it there with Joelinton's effort. Aimed towards the top right-hand corner and tipped over the bar by Trubin. But for him, this could have been 6 or 7 in the second half.
Yeah, absolutely. Really good play again from Joelinton. Just drops the shoulder on the edge of the 18-yard box, puts it from his left foot onto his right, just tries to bend it into the far corner. It's a wonderful save. But just before that, Asula's got to score. It's a great ball in from Harvey Barnes. He just misses the header. That young man's got a really good future in this game, but he's got to start taking his chances when he gets the opportunity.
Another Newcastle corner, swung in by Elanga, headed away by Antonio Silva. Comes out for Kieran Trippier, urged to shoot. He's only scored 1 goal in more than 3 years. He doesn't shoot. It's back out to Dan Burn, and that's another fine save. He hit that from 27 yards. Arrow towards the bottom right-hand corner. The goalkeeper, arguably that's his best save of the night. Now Chow tries as a right winger to beat his man and get the ball inside the box. He can't. He goes out of play for a goal kick, which might be the last action of the night. In fact, no time to take it. That is a really good performance from Newcastle United in the second half. They led at the break through Anthony Gordon, but the game was still in the balance. Second half, they took control of it. Barnes came off the bench and scored twice. One with a brilliant assist from Nick Pope, bowling it half the length of the pitch to find his man. And Newcastle have 2 wins from 3 at the start of this Champions League campaign. Benfica all but out. Newcastle 3, Benfica 0.
For the other English sides to finish, but Man City are going to win in Villarreal, and Arsenal comfortably winning here. We're in added time, 4-0 as another gunner shot rains in and is saved by Oblak this time. Mikel Arteta gesticulating wildly from the touchline, but Alex Crook, he doesn't need to, because this has been comfortable in the second half for Arsenal.
It's been sensational, Adrian. After being frustrated in the first half, Arsenal have simply blown Diego Simeone's men away with 4 goals in the space of 13 minutes. The first inevitably perhaps from a set piece. Declan Rice curling in the corner, or the free kick rather, headed in by Gabriel. Gabriel Martinelli doubled that lead 7 minutes later. A nice finish off the inside of the post after good work by Miles Lewis-Skelly. And then Victor Gyökeres, who'd had a difficult evening to that point, he scored twice in the space of 3 minutes. The first turned in from 6 yards out. The second he sort of bundled home after Gabriel had nodded down another corner from Declan Rice. But as the full-time whistle sounds here, what a statement result that is for Arsenal. They've beaten Atletico Madrid, renowned in previous seasons for how defensively stubborn they are, how difficult they are to create chances against. They thrashed them by 4 second-half goals to 0. It's also 15 successive home wins in the league phase of European competition in a row, and even more impressively, 12 wins in the league phase at home in succession without conceding a single goal. It finishes here, Arsenal 4, Atletico Madrid 0.
And perhaps even more significantly, Victor Gyökeres, who, you were right, he was absolutely absent in the first half. And listen, it wasn't a world-class performance from him, but he's got himself on the score sheet twice. That can only boost his confidence.
And they're the type of goals that, as a striker, when you're still trying to find your feet at a new club after a big money signing, they're the type of goals you need. The first one was a sort of scuff finish into the bottom corner from 6 yards. The second almost hit him at the far post. He couldn't miss. But he'll do his confidence the world of good. And he got a standing ovation, Gyökeres, when he was substituted just before the end. Mikel Arteta, rather cruelly perhaps, taking away the chance for him to score his first Arsenal treble.
I think he was giving him the chance to get the ovation, so it was 6 of one, half a dozen of the other, but he will be impressed with himself. Gyökeres, 2 goals tonight, and that, it was a blitz for Arsenal second half, and Diego Simeone's Atletico Madrid could not live with the Gunners tonight, and Arsenal third in the Champions League stage. They're one of only 3 sides with 3 wins from 3 games. More might join them tomorrow, obviously, but PSG top. They've won 7-2 away to Bayer Leverkusen tonight. Inter Milan a second. They have got 3 wins from 3, 4-0 winners away to Union Saint-Gilloise tonight. Arsenal third, 3 wins from 3, yet to concede a goal. Manchester City have got back to winning ways in the Champions League as well. Talksport's Mickey Gray.
Where it's finished, Villarreal 0, Manchester City 2. A comfortable night overall, really, for Manchester City. But on 17 minutes, they got the first goal through Erling Haaland, his 4th Champions League goal of the season, 53rd overall in this competition. And then they had to wait until the 40th minute for Bernardo Silva to double City's lead. Good play from Savinho down the right-hand side. Bernardo Silva, free as a bird in the 6-yard area, just headed the ball into the back of the net. They had to hang on a little bit in the second half. Chances for Pepe and Pape Gay. Left foot strike saved very well by Donnarumma. But overall, Manchester City, a comfortable night for them. They are now moving up to 5th in the Champions League stages. City march on. Villarreal 0, Manchester City 2.
Yeah, City 5th and Newcastle up to 7th. Troy Deeney at St James Park. I thought they were brilliant second half. I really, really loved the Nick Pope assist for the Barnes goal, and then that little 1-2 between Gordon and Voltemade. The lovely back heel from Voltemade. There was some really good football from Newcastle tonight.
Yeah, when it was good, it was excellent, Eddie. It was one of those ones where you're just thinking, why don't they do that more often? Just with purpose, 1 and 2 touch. And when they get Anthony Gordon running, oh my God, he's so difficult to stop. But he was very, very good. The only thing that was missing was maybe if he could stop diving. But other than that, Aid, a great night. 3-0. Benfica weren't actually as bad as the scoreline would suggest, but Newcastle just had too much in the final third.
Yeah, you're right. Benfica first half were very competitive, hit the posts, they threatened, and I think there was some nerves in the Newcastle crowd this evening, especially in that first half.
Yeah, 100%. But the goals and the intensity that they played with in the second half, I think Eddie Howe has definitely said to them, guys, just lift it. Let's go a bit more direct, a bit more purpose in what they were doing. And then just the level. I mean this, Aid, with the greatest respect. The English Premier League is the best in the world for this intensity and the way that we play. Portugal and these other leagues, they are good in terms of technical and tactical. They can't live with our boys when they run. And Ashley Barnes coming on, when the space opened up, just ran all over this Benfica defence. And it was just basically how many were Newcastle going to score in this second half. It could have been 5 or 6.
No disrespect, but Ashley Barnes would not have run all over that Benfica defence. It was Harvey Barnes running over the...
Sorry, Harvey Barnes. Ashley Barnes is very quick.
I don't think so these days, is he?
He's quicker than me.
A very good Premier League player in his time. But what will Eddie Howe take from this and take forward? Because let's go back to when we were building up to the game. Newcastle United, bottom half of the Premier League table. A little bit of inconsistency. The form hasn't been particularly good. You were very positive and confident that they'd be okay. And so it's proved this evening. So what will Eddie Howe take from this?
He will take loads of confidence. They're getting minutes into the legs of Elanga and the other boys when they came on. Tonali, he was able to leave him rest. We've got Anthony Gordon just coming off in front of us, getting the man of the match. I just think what he will want is that the guys have this level of confidence that they do when they go 1-0 up. They didn't start the game great. By all accounts, they weren't great against Brighton. They need to be in a position to just play with that confidence, that freedom of, right, we are good, and believe in themselves. As soon as they got their first goal, it just felt like they were going to get 5, 6 or 7. So they need Anthony Gordon to keep playing well. But I told you at the top of the show, I think they're just too good. I think as a team, they're just too good, and you're going to have to really be on your top form to stop them once they're up and running.
OK, Anthony Gordon is a definite for the World Cup squad, right?
Absolutely. On that left-hand side, I think it'd be him and Rashford. I really do. I wouldn't be surprised if they start with Rashford because Thomas Tuchel loves him. But I think Anthony Gordon will definitely be in a position. And the more games he plays in Europe, like tonight, the harder it will be to leave him out of the squad.
Yeah, listen, all three English sides have won tonight. It bodes well going forward. We've got a lot of teams in the Champions League, another 3 tomorrow night, Troy. But Newcastle United, they absolutely needed that, didn't they? After the home defeat to Barcelona, when they played well but got beaten, they needed to come back and win this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And again, I think the first half was a nervous energy, not only here on the pitch but in the stadium as well. It didn't feel like the normal fever pitch St James's Park. But the second that they scored, this whole place just relaxed. The noise level went through the roof. And as I say, they could have scored 5 or 6. They'll feel really confident now that they can get through this Champions League first phase. And then they want to get this into the Premier League as well, right? And start winning week in, week out. Next game against Fulham's a tough one that they could really slip up on. But I'd expect them, with the Voltemada up top and the way that he links the play, with the pace they've got in wide areas, I expect them to start winning and winning comfortably soon.
And the clean sheet important as well.
Yeah, Nick Pope was great as well. I know you just spoke about the assist, but punching everything from corners, coming taking it, and then the big throw. I don't know if you saw it, Aid, when he threw from the 18-yard box,
it's
just
incredible.
over the halfway line.
What a long throw that is. I mean, it goes beyond. I mean, the defender misses it. OK, that helps. But he's still put Newcastle in a position with an incredible throw out. It's amazing.
Yeah, and again, the pace and the power. He gets a lot of stick, doesn't he, for not being great with his feet. Tell you what, when you can throw it well over the halfway line with that level of power and speed, it's a great tool to have. But I just think he was great. The back four were great. It just feels right, Aid. It just feels now that they're ready to really kick on.
Yeah, and interesting on Nick Pope. I don't know if you felt it as well, but from watching that first half, I thought Jose's tactic was to press Nick Pope because he felt he wasn't good enough with his feet. But he came through that.
Yeah, and obviously when he kicks it out for a corner, you have to start questioning, why Nick Pope is struggling with his feet. But it's not that area of his game that's great, but everything else he does, shot stopping, commanded his area. He's actually what a goalkeeper should do. But today's game, obviously everyone wants to talk about how good you are with your feet. And Jose did get the tactics right, but I just thought that Newcastle had too much pace and too much power to get away from him.
And in terms of Harvey Barnes, in commentary, Jim Proudfoot said that, he's seen as a good option from the bench, somebody who can have an impact from the bench. No players want to be bench players, do they?
No, absolutely not. But I do think the game lends itself to him when it gets a little bit more stretched. There's more space for him to be direct. I agree with Jim. I don't think he would like to be called a super sub, neither did Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. But when you're effective at it, you have to keep doing it. And I think Eddie Howe will look at him and say, right, unless you can be as consistent as you are off the bench at the start, that's going to be your place moving forward.
Listen, so many goals in the Champions League tonight. 42 goals in 8 Champions League games is absolutely ridiculous. I'll run you through all the full times very shortly, and in the Championship where there's been some big results as well. But Newcastle 3-0 winners over Benfica live on Talksport. And it's time now for us to pick our man of the match with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.
Man of the match on Talksport with Enterprise Rent-A-Car. Whatever the mission, home or away, Enterprise helps over 120,000 people every day.
Intrigued by this one, Troy Deeney. Who are you going for?
I'm going to go... Everyone would expect it to be Anthony Gordon, right? I am going to go for Bruno Guimaraes, the best player on the pitch by a country mile ahead, and absolutely works his whole crowd with like an orchestra. They go to whatever tempo he wants to go. He was great, he was fantastic, and he milked it at 88 minutes when he came off, as he should. He was the best player on the pitch by a mile.
He's very demonstrative, he gesticulates wildly, the fans absolutely love him. He just has to get a block in on a cross and he will be up and punching the air and whipping the crowd up in a frenzy. I watched him highlights-wise in terms of Brazil in their 2 games. They lost to Japan, they hammered South Korea. He was sensational in those games as well. He's come back from that little mini tour to Japan and Korea, and he's had an impact in both games. But tonight, I can't disagree. And that ball for down the right wing for the first goal for Newcastle in the first half, I mean, that really set up quick passing, quick ideas, and he executed it perfectly.
Yeah, and again, he's just got that level of quality and class that every other player looks at him and goes, wow, he does the hard yards, He gets stuck in. As you said earlier, he'll make sure that everyone knows when he's done well, because he'll let the crowd know and they'll all sing his name. But as a captain, when you're watching him, he just makes sure that every player is held to a standard, and not a standard that he doesn't expect for himself. I just thought he was excellent tonight, and fair play to him. And it's fair play for Newcastle for being able to keep him as well. Obviously, they've sold Isak, but I think he'll be the heartbeat of this team for the next 5-10 years.
Troy, thank you very much for the time being. Stay where you are. That was our Here for It hero, Bruno Guimaraes, man of the match from today's game with Enterprise Rent-A-Car.